Let's get it. get it. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021 Bangladesh edition, of course, sponsored by Oppo Reno 5. My name is Fixes, joined by Necro as we head on to the final day of our regional semi-final. So, well, Necro, final day, two groups. What do you expect, B and D?
Of course, now all these people are definitely going to be giving their best. Like, what I mean by best is like their best they've ever been wondering for, even dreaming for. So now it's really going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to play it out today.
Yeah, of course. I mean, from today, we will be having the top 15 teams qualifying for the regional finals that we have lined up for you guys. And one invited team from the Bangladeshi region will also be joining. So that makes 16 in the finals. And yes, they are all fighting out for those coveted slots for the PMPL, of course, which we will be taking us a look afterwards. But yes, yesterday we did see, the teams really stepping off, but Blood Legion not really having quite the day. But today we have the players of TRZ coming in. But before that, let's take a look at what's on the line, the slots, of course, and let's take a look at the road to PMPL. So we've got 3 teams from Bangladesh region from the regional finals that will be qualifying, of course, and from there onwards, we've got a few invited teams along with Zeus coming in from the Global Challenge.
Indeed. I mean, yeah, of course, like, all these 3 slots are so important. And now this time today, of course, these guys want to be the best. But as you said, Blood Legions weren't really able to show up. I mean, it's like they're already in there.
Yeah.
It's like their slot is already fixed. So so I feel like Blood Legions was just trying to be as aggressive as possible and just really careless about anything in general.
I mean, at that point, they can certainly afford to do that, right? They already have a cushion, and does not really matter because they're not going to get any extra cash out of it. So no money. All it matters is how you perform in the regional finals. That's where everything is on the line. So they've done the majority of the job. Like we were talking about the money. Let's take a look at what's on the line over here.
Indeed, of course, 29,200. My bad. And yeah, of course, like all these standard placements and stuff like that, like how the money is going to be distributed is pretty much standard. We have been seeing this every single day. But also, yeah, of course, the top 3 slots, as we were talking about, one of the Blood Legions already fixed it. And of course, like all these rest of them are going to be interesting to see. Like, of course, in the, I mean, they are, of course, Blood Legions, of course, in the finals. But now, I mean, I have the confidence that I feel like Blood Legions might be one of the top 3 teams.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a high probable chance. But, when you go down to the regional finals, anything can possibly happen because you have those same 16 teams playing along. And from here onwards, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you, only the top 15 teams are going to go for the regional finals. One invited team is going to be coming in, and who will it be? We will, of course, let you know at the end of the show. But before that, how do they make their way in? They need to earn those points. Let's take a look at the point system over here.
Indeed, pretty standard point system, and of course, that 1 point coming in for the kills. Now, of course, TRZ are definitely going to be trying so hard to get those kills in their hands as well.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, of course, just to get those repetition points and try to, like, beat down Blood Legion, of course, they will try to do that as well, just to, like, gain a little bit on top of that repetition as well. And I mean, ERZ TRZ is of course in as well.
Yeah, I mean, talking about ERZ, TRZ, and we also have the teams like XCVSC playing the last final game. So I think the competition is definitely there. We've got ERZ, TRZ, who is very consistent with those kills also backing them up. The second day, however, had not been as they would have wanted, the kind of consistent run that they were going for. So Blood Legion, of course, took that lead. But today is the time where they can topple them over. And XCVSC, I mean, if you talk about this players, Jerry, he's one of those players that I really want to look out for because, yeah, initially they went in for the position, but as the league progressed on, now they're going for the kills. They're getting those best spots. Now, we're talking about, these two teams. Let's take a look at the other teams that we have in contention over here. That's Groups B and D. So starting things off, Golden Stallions not really having a good time out.
Indeed, of course they are not, but also at the same time, there are so many much more teams now. NRZ, of course, not really one of the teams that have been doing well, but yeah. I'm pretty sure today they might just get a chance. Even Martis, they might just get a chance as well. But of course, these guys will have to try their best. If they are just going to be careless about everything what's going on today, they're definitely not going to be able to succeed.
Yes, that's a really, really interesting. But yeah, we also have to mention the fact that we will be having only 14 teams in the lobby because ARS Sinisters and CNC Genocide, they've been disqualified for using unfair means, which we highly, highly disregard. And yeah, talking about the different teams, of course, the storyline here will be whether or not A1 Esports 1952 makes it to the regional finals, because this is a team that has got that potential, but somewhere down the line, they're struggling with the rotations. I even had a talk with the players. They were feeling a bit under the weather because they were like, the thing is that we know how the top tier teams play, how our T1 teams play, but with so many teams coming in the PMCO, they are completely unpredictable. You come with a separate strat and you want to execute it, but something else entirely happens.
Indeed. I mean, of course, this journey is going to be such a long way, right, for A1 right there, but also at the same time, it's going to be so hard, filled with stones and just all over. So even if they fall in one game early off, there's still 3 more games left where you can absolutely just pop off and try to get those points in. But of course, popping off would not be an easy part to do on their part. So A1 would definitely have to get those strats in as well. Now, getting eliminated off and being too aggressive is definitely not going to be the thing they want to do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they would want to be trying to be consistent. And let's take a look at overall rankings and see the storyboard that we have building for ourselves. Exentric Infinity and Infernal Parasite. All these teams, along with Blood Legion, are done with the games. But so is Max Esports and God's Reborn. So we have the players of ERC TRC going as below as to the 8th position, but they still have 4 games to play. So and they've pretty much qualified, so they do not really have much to worry about. So I'm pretty sure that they will be picking themselves up. But yesterday, we were casting the Nepali region, and we did see Team Hype actually being so behind did somehow manage to kind of solidify the position over there. So maybe A1 Esports 1952 can pull this one off.
Indeed, in the last second, Team Hype definitely clutched their position when it comes to the leaderboard. But also at the same time, A1 can also do that. But as I said, it's going to be so tough for them. It's going to be hard. And also at the same time, they will have to be so consistent in getting those points in each and every single map. Just going off early wouldn't be that good. But also if we take a look at ERZ, TRZ, even one game with like at least 20 or 25 points can just get them up to top 3 or something.
I really want Hyper to be going YOLO tonight as well, because this is a team that has the players. They are not scared of anything. They've got a player like with the likes of Piol, who's getting so much kills done. It's just about getting those early aggression, trying to apply that extra bit of a pressure. You know which teams you're going against. Pick your teams that maybe we can fight against them. So you would not really want to contest their drops, but what you can do is just drop nearby and try to block off the rotation, while they're traversing around. Just spray your bullets onto their vehicles, try to burst it off, try to catch them in a very, very unwanted situation, and that's when you take them down and get those points rolling in your favor. And of course, I would love the teams to prioritize the circle a bit more.
Of course, I mean, this circle priority will be coming in, but also at the same time, as you were talking about, just spraying on the vehicles while the rotations are coming in. Yeah, sometimes it is actually a good choice, but when you're actually spraying the vehicles, you are exposing yourself as well. So now you will have to watch out your surrounding and just take a look if you are going to get shot from any other angles as well. If you aren't, then you are supposed to do that. Then if you even one of your teammates get knocked, it's just going to be such a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious, and we will continue this conversation, but let's take a look at the schedule, those maps that you're going to be playing at. So we've got Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, and Erangel again. So Erangel 2.0 coming in. A lot of changes we've seen, you know, those new bunkers being added, those new sandbags in certain situations being added over there, providing that extra bit of cover if the circle sort of pans down on you. Because earlier, the map was kind of a bit open, so, you know, teams used to just prone in. Now they've got some ridges to play around, some new nooks and crannies across the map. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just head into the game and see who gets the first chicken dinner of the day.
Exactly right in the action as we go. Just take a look at the plane fly path. Such a good plane fly path over here. A solid fly path. Like, I feel like anywhere if you want to go from this fly path, of course, it's going to be harder for you to go to Lipovka and those like just edge cities that we are seeing. But also at the same time, I don't really feel like anyone's going to be planning to go for the edges. Of course, the max range will be over here till Yasna Polnaya. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's not going to be a hard task for all these teams. It seems like Martis is going to be the one to drop off early off. And seems like they are aiming for Severny, which is a pretty classic city if we take a look, or under consideration for a looting purpose. Now, there are so many teams just dropping off early off. Like, so many teams just dropped. Just take a look at in the middle of the map. It's just an absolute chaos. And it seems like there are two teams going to be going to Pochinki.
Yeah. You know, Pachinki is, of course, going to be one of those hot drops that are going to be contested. So let's see how teams are going to play it around. But we do have, you know, 14 teams playing in the lobby, in the server rather. So there's this problem going to be that this might just be a slow start, because two teams not playing. Yes, for the other teams, it is going to give you a lot of room to play around. But then again, considering how the circle has gone, this might just go anywhere. And it's been a while that we've seen a Rozok circle, to be honest. So we'll have to see how the players of, you know, SLX Ironic, you know, dropping off at a really, really interesting position. But you can see the players of Team Hyper and, in fact, Team Martyrs heading on towards Severny. They've taken their vehicles. So Martyrs would be wanting to avoid that fight because I can see the players over there of Hyper already being positioned at a very good spot. They might be getting those few guns along to play with. So I'm really scared about the players of Team Martyrs over there. If they get picked off, then that's going to spell trouble.
I mean, I don't really feel like they will get picked off early off, because at least one of the teams will decide to back off, because an early fight is definitely going to be such a massive destruction for each and every reputation that they have earned so far. And even if they get eliminated early, and so many fans are going to be disappointed that they have built until now. But also 1971, as you were talking about, one of the teams that wants to get in as well, and going to be having a hard job in doing that. But also they do have some of the players that have the capabilities that can actually take the team to the victorious path. And it's not going to be impossible, but at the same time, yeah, the journey is going to be so tough that they will actually have to pop off every single game and just try to do their best overall. Even if they manage to get plus 25 points in either of the two games, they will be on top of there.
Exactly, and that was quite an interesting parking over there. You know,
I mean, we love that.
He's really high on spirits, and I mean, did just ram it off, and yeah, get those quick loots coming in for yourself. But as we take a look at the Pachinki area, we've got AGT9 who've been playing decent so far. But we'll have to see, because like we've already been discussing about it, right? This is a meta where comebacks are really possible. All you need is those 2-3 consistent games, and you might just edge your way into the final. So we gotta see, you know, what these teams have to offer. But by the looks of it, you know, we've got the players of PXBS moving out. So a lot of teams are there, and they've got the likes of Zulkar, whom we've seen in the past, and he carries a lot of potential along with him. It's just come down to the fact that he's playing with his new roster. So we gotta see how this team is gonna perform in those final few matches that they have.
I mean, we have seen Rafi sometimes just pop off, like we have seen this man just absolutely dominate the end circles as well. But BD71 indeed will definitely have to try hard as well, just to gain those repetition points and as well just try to move themselves up a little bit in the leaderboard to secure those spots. But now Martis seems like having a hard time driving over here. Ninja doesn't really seem like he has his controls on. Going to be driving backwards. Also at the same time going to be sliding down the hill. But this late in the game, this man still does not have any kind of guns on his name. The only thing he has is a revolver and a fist. Now, slowly he is starting to loot, but I still feel like it's such a late circle in the zone. I mean, it's already being late. If you're going to be starting to loot this late, yeah, you're definitely in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the loot management. But just take a look at the other Martis members. Seems like they are actually looking pretty good on loot. Yeah, having that Scar L6X scope is definitely going to be helping them in those mid-range and even long-range. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to be taking a look. But now, take a look at ERZTRZ over here. One of the squads that has been dominating all the time, and that will be dominating in the future as well, as we keep on guessing. But just take a look at these guys. And now, these guys are definitely the one that everyone has to watch out for in the entire lobby, because this is the only squad that is such a dominant in this entire lobby over here, that has been on top of the leaderboard since a long time, and also had secured those top 3 numbers, and then later on got dropped off because the other team took their slots as well. But of course, it's not going to be impossible for them to get there.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be impossible, but I'm really looking forward to the regional finals, to be honest, because that's when, you start off with a clean slate, you've got enough points, but then the matches will be limited and the teams will be same. So you can do even further elaborate research on them as to what they intend and how you can carry things around. So that's going to be a little bit more organized and easy for teams to really figure out what the opponents are going to try and do. So you come with a solid plan every single day for every single map. So like we've already mentioned, this time around we do not have the Vikendi for you, ladies and gentlemen, and we do have, of course, Sanhok and Miramar. Ooh. So yeah, those maps are really tricky to come out through, because Erangel kind of is the bread and butter map of PUBG Mobile. So all the teams are well versed. So if you really want to come out on top, if you really want to show the metal that you've got to play well in those maps. And Sanhok has always been that crucial map, which is kind of like a game changer, because you never know who comes out on top in that, the way the circle shifts.
Indeed, the circle shift is definitely really lenient and weird on Sanhok, as we would like to say. It's not really favoring any kind of squads, and it just somehow just like sometimes goes all like just anywhere you have not been expecting it to go. But also at the same time, just take a look at Hyper. But I mean, so far that we have been spectating teams, I feel like NRG is a team that is looking so comfortable on their loot. They have those guns going in on their pros. They have those scopes as well. Their med situation is also looking good. Even their helmet, vest, backpack, overall just loot situation is just looking so good for them. But Hyper is one of the teams that you wanted to see the success. And yeah, I mean, yeah, they are not that far away. Yeah, of course, they can try to get there as soon as possible, but it's going to be harder for them as well. Now, Wolves is also one of the teams that is on the top there, and that still has a chance to get there as well, or maybe just, and even if they get there, I mean, it's not going to be harder for them to get there. It's just like a really small journey for them, and they can still get there. It's not going to be that tough, but A1 is definitely going to be the one to struggle a lot.
Well, A1 Esports, they did drop off near Ferry Pier. They just got done with the loot now, just traversing around, just on the southern side of school, trying to get a good spot. So they're under heavy pressure, but I think if they kind of manage to get the chicken in the first game itself, that's going to ease that down a bit. That's going to give them that morale boost that they so really need. Because, yeah, now they're in a kind of a situation which is way too much in the open. You've got covers from the backlines, you've got that ridge to play around, but if you sort of get sandwiched from your west and your eastern side, then it's going to spell trouble. And even the players of TRA, if they manage to spot you out, then they're going to cause some trouble for your team. They're not going to let you out so easily. So you've got to be very careful as to, how A1 Esports is going to proceed this one out.
Indeed, I mean TRA definitely having that apartment control can tell us that they have a decent amount of loot on them, as well as they're not going to be lacking out of those scopes and ammo. So of course these guys will have to watch from TRA, but also at the same time there is another squad inside school. Now this is literally a triangle going on over here. If these guys decide to fight each other, so one team will be engaging on the apartments, then the school team will be engaging on the guys to the apartment. So it's just going to be a triangle crossfire going on between these guys. And as long as another squad just tries to like third party, then of course, yeah, the situation might get a little bit more cautious. But at the same time, look at these teams. It's just rotating inside with their cars everywhere. Even on all the outer skirts, we are just seeing cars all over the place. These guys want to rotate inside the circle as fast as they can. And it seems like everyone wants to contest that school and apartment area, because that is one of the areas where it's like in the center of the circle. I really like the circle actually. It's just literally in the middle of the map. But now this circle is going to be interesting to see when the circle ends and the next circle is going to be landing. It's going to be so crucial for all these teams. Now these teams are taking those rotation and also at the same time taking the heavy cover fire. But now where are these guys going to be finding their houses?
Now that's an interesting question over here, because few teams that have made it all the far, they've got those compounds, they're good to go. But apart from them, the others that we are talking about, they're going to have a lot of trouble. Now this area has been worked out a bit, you know, the northern area of those warehouses we've seen. We've got a few ridges here and there. So if teams have managed, there's a beautiful, beautiful dip around which you can play. We've seen a lot of Chinese teams going for that. So it all comes down to how good, well-versed, in fact, with the map you are. So this is a real test for the teams. But at the same time, I really want the circle to be ending around somewhere in the open area, because if you've got that compound, it's pretty much standard, right? Whoever has the better position inside the circle in those final edges, they're going to come out on top. So let's see what Team Wolves are up to. So yeah, I mean, Team Wolves, this has been a team that did play kind of well in the first day. Did manage to get a few chickens.
Yeah, they're of course like consistent ones.
Yeah, I mean, but still, you know, the kind of a performance that they displayed, you know, after getting their chicken, I expected a lot more out of them.
Yeah.
So that is where. But at the same time, we can't be really critical about the teams, because it's still their first PMCOs for a lot of them. This is where they will be getting those extra bit of experience. And maybe if you're not, you know, no one is a loser over here. If either you win or you learn. So the next time when they come in, I'm pretty sure, you know, they must be knowing how to counter these situations, because you know, being a professional player in the past, I have also known that so much unexpected things happen. You come with a strategy and everything goes falling down the moment you trying to go and execute a rotation. So the first airdrop coming in, Groza, and we'll have to see if the teams really want to go for it though.
Indeed. I like the way you put no one's a loser here. Either they're winner or learner. So that's so nice of you. But
that's a fact, to be honest.
yeah. That is a fact. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just also you being nice to the teams that are for the first time coming in and are getting disappointed. Yeah, that's some nice words and motivational words coming out from you. But also there is a Groza inside one of the airdrops, and also M249 in another airdrop. Now these two guns are lethal, but just take a look over here. TRZ Atomic already going down, and he's gonna be the first blood taken. How do you feel about this? TRZ definitely one of the teams that is dominating, and losing one of their players early off is such an unfortunate thing coming up for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been always very critical about the timings of the rotations of the teams, right? If you do not make it early, then you're gonna suffer some similar circumstances. Now, TRZ did come with a plan. Now, this is where hell is breaking down loose for them, because now they caught in such a precarious situation that you know, whatever they planned, whichever compound they really wanted has already been occupied by some other team. So these are the things that you do not come prepared for. Now, TRZ is a team that can certainly afford that, because they are in a good spot. Had it been someone else, I mean, the pressure would have just surmounted.
Okay, but they already lost 2 of their players.
Yeah.
2 of their cars have been busted down. And ERZ-TRZ is in such a critical and sensitive situation. Even a little bit of things going bad for them can just turn the whole game down as well for them. But now just take a look at A1 here. This is definitely a crucial game for A1. If they are not going to be able to get those top 3 or either top 4 or top 5, just in those consistent performance sides, they're definitely going to be in a massive trouble. But now just like take a look at Tiara as well. Take in a heavy cover fire, but still going to be managing to escape without any cause. So that's a really good thing coming up from them. But seems like A1 is actually in a decent cover over here. They are taking those shots in out of the car that are rotating late inside the circle and also trying their best. But just take a look at over here. Wolf, what are you doing, you bad agent?
I mean,
this man is just out in the open, not scared of anyone. Like, at least try to find a cover for yourself, my man.
So that's kind of an off-angle pick. Now, he needs to be really worried about the players of PXBS. Because if they manage to take a peek at him, I think he's a dead man over there. But still, you know, this is the day where we kind of anticipate teams to be trying to go for those unwanted pushes, trying to go for those unorthodox style of gameplay. So that did reap a reward for them. They did manage to get that knock. But this is what I was talking about. Zulkar with his M24 just bursting his head off, but he somehow has managed to be in cover, so he'll get that revive. At least the push is definitely not coming in from the players of PXBS.
Indeed, but also at the same time, it's not going to be a hard situation for them to just get that revive. And Rafi proving me right and doing the same thing. While we take a look at 1971 as well, they do capitalize on the situation of PX right on top of them. Now, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, is he going to be finding a easy knockdown here? Definitely not going to be easy to find that, but we'll definitely have to be so precise in trying to do those. Now, Wolves is in a better situation or in a better position if we take a look at them as well. But if they're lucky enough and if the zone decides to switch to Rozhawk, which seems like that is the case. And so, yeah, of course, Wolves is in a really good spot overall. And now Wolves would definitely have to just contest this compound, try not to be over-aggressive, overconfident overall, and just try to contest it and just play safe overall. But now take a look at airdrop 3 over here. This is an AUG coming in. No one really likes that gun, and seems like, I mean, yeah, it's not like no one likes it, but at the same time, people prefer the M4 over AUG for sure, because they know how to control the sprays more precisely, but also at the same time, AUG does give you the better feel, if we would like to say.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the point, it's kind of a luxurious weapon, to be honest. It's a weapon that you might like, okay, let me just try this one out. That's the thing. So with the thing with AUG is you cannot really use that in those close range situations, but you can definitely go for those long mid-range sprays, and it's very, very accurate on that and does not read those extra attachments. So to get online, I mean, even without any attachments, you can still do a decent job with this weapon. So that's the only thing that I can say for AUG. But considering it's the competitive lobby, you get enough of your loot. Your loots are multiplied. So I'm pretty sure the teams do not have any trouble. But let's get back to the fight that we have. That's SLX Ironic right in front of our screens. Might just take a fight against the players of Golden Stallions, and Rifat having a really interesting flank position. I really want to see how he performs in this particular skirmish.
Definitely holding an off angle, but as we take a look at over here, GSE is already losing one of their massive players. Definitely going to be so disappointed after losing that man over here. But it doesn't really seem like Zam69 is going to be stopping after that. He definitely wants that revenge as well. But one of their GSES members already ready with the grenade, not really dealing that much of the damage as we expected, but also at the same time, the one of their member is also going down. Now, SLX is in the same situation that GSES is in right now. But seems like GSES is in a really more critical situation because Poison is down to 1 HP. And also at the same time, their 2 members are knocked down. So they will have to get that res in any cost. It seems like they are going to be successful in doing that. But look at Rafat over here. If anyone expects him to be here, then it's going to be completely GG for these two. And it seems like he's going to be making a rotation, being fearless. You need to watch out.
Now, this is where Golden Stallion kind of messed things up. The moment they got that first knock, the vehicle parking was completely off. You knew the positions of your enemies, but yet you went to the garage compounds. Now, for the players of Golden Stallions, they did not really have enough cover to did not really have enough vision to kind of provide the cover fire that they needed. Finally, the push comes on. It's a 4v2 situation. You can see Sketch providing that that cover fire from that warehouse position if someone kind of peeks around. But Zaman having the DBS, beautiful knock, getting into confirmation.
Oh my god!
This is an absolutely deadly weapon in those close range situations. That Poison just taking a jump and well. What a chaotic situation, and in that, of course, Golden Stallions taking an elimination and the first team to be wiped out from the lobby.
Such unfortunate circumstances as we saw that man just pumping the shots in from the shotgun. And of course, that thing does so much damage in those close range, and it's such a beautiful weapon as well. But also at the same time, we need to add those style points as well. When he just jumped down the roof and was shooting from the mid-air with his AK, well, that was kind of good to watch and satisfying to watch as well. But now just take a look at Wolves overall. Seems like they are in a decent amount of position, but also they realize that there are members of TRA right in front of them. Going to be throwing a little bit of nades. I feel like he is overcooking them a little bit. He should let them slide in.
He certainly should, but the players of Team Wolves, they are on a mission today. They are trying to garner as many kills as possible. Beautiful deflection of that grenade, just ricocheting over there. Getting that knock gives him enough confidence to make that push with his AKM. So we gotta see Sweet Love deploying those smokes, trying to confuse the opponents. Now it's all gonna go chaotic because the circle is still not favoring them.
Look at him, the way he's just like scoping in on the situation. He's like, wait, let me just check what is going on their surrounding. And then there's literally an absolute chaos inside the house happening at the same time. But also one of the Team Wolves member is going down as well. Now Team Wolves is definitely in a little bit of a trouble situation, or in a really critical situation, as we like to say. But there's only one more member left from TRN. That's gonna be Sweet Love. He has smoked himself out, but I don't really like this position inside this inside the little room. It gives you such less room to reposition yourself, and this is exactly what I was talking about. I don't feel like you should actually be camping inside the room, and instead you can be just holding the staircase, making sure, because on the staircase it's impossible for two guys to come in at the same time. So one by one you can challenge those fights, but just take a look at over here. There's so many fights happening. Of course, the people on top of the hill are going to be having so much advantage, and they're going to be spraying out so much bullets as well, while also at the same time taking a little bit of damage from their back. Now just look at over here. PXBS has that a little bit of flank angle going in for them as well. Now Saiyan is definitely in a massive trouble, but Zulker also going down from the flank.
Yeah, certainly, and the circle, like you can see, has already shifted. And well, SLX Ironic, they've got quite a spread, but look at them, they're way too much in the open. Just those soft smoke covers for themselves to act around, but still they're getting some knocks and will want to get that confirmation over there. But as we can see, the players of Martes have already been eliminated, and SLX Ironic getting a few kills here and there. PXBS also taking an early exit.
Indeed, PXBS taking an early exit, definitely was not able to show their gameplay up today. But just take a look at Execute 69 over here. They are popping off. What is going on? So many utility uses, so many utilities are being used. PXBX also getting eliminated, as we talked about this before. But now NRZ in a really critical situation as well. Now Tulul definitely needs to get back inside the house and grab a little bit of better positioning advantage for himself. Now just take a look. So many bullets are being fired in the process as well. NRZ coming out on top in that fight. Now the other team, which has been eliminated, is going to be so disappointed at the fact that they got caught off guard by NRZ. NRZ definitely one of the teams that people need to watch out from as well, because sometimes they just absolutely pop up in situations like those, and late circle is where they actually start to shine. But just take a look over here. Wolves, one of my favorite team, going down as well.
Yeah, of course, taking an early exit, just getting that one position point, but they did have a few kills to back it up. So let's see how much points that they end up after the first game. So right now NRZ did get that beautiful squad wipe. We still have to look at the players of XCVS, because this is a team that is usually silent in those first few circles, and after the zone kind of takes that shift, they start popping off. So Jerry taking a bit of a damage out there, having spotted out the players of SLX Ironic already. He needs to build a cover for himself. He spotted down Sketch, taking a few shots at him. them. They are yet to get inside the circle, so that's going to be really important. But Zaman getting knocked out by Jerry. I mean, I know this guy. Well, you know, you give him the chance, he's prone in, has that M4, and the 3 times, it's a laser weapon, to be honest.
Of course, just imagine a 6 times on that. It's going to be more lethal. But just take a look over here now. 1971 was definitely one of the teams that you wanted to succeed, but isn't really seeming like they are going to be coming out on top because only one of the players is alive for them. But, I mean, look at A1 over here as well. Now, A1 does have that compound secured in their hands, but... yeah, are they going to be able to like just work around it? It's going to be a massive question for us. But also XCBS, one of the teams that is going to be having a tough time going up as well.
Yeah, of course. And look at the boys from Team Hyper. They've also started popping off. So that's a really good thing. And A1 Esports, 1952, really having a good position. But TRC finally biting the dust.
Big elimination.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like we've already been talking about a lot of times. You know, this is something that they can afford to let go of one game. They've done majority of their job in those previous days. But now XCBS, these are one of those top contenders at this time for, of course, the title. So we gotta see as to how they're gonna perform out. And one shot really getting that goes out, that's definitely gonna help their purpose. Now they've got a very good compound. They're inside the circle, just waiting for the 7th circle to just pop off. And this is what I was talking about. Be smart with your plays. They did make a very good rotation right from down bottom. They chose their compounds. They did not really did not choose the compounds early on, but did have those covers over those hills. So after that, they found that okay, the circle is shifting there. Let's just make an early rotation, and that certainly did help them. But now the players of SLX are ironic. So what they're doing over here is the fact that they're kind of opening their positions up in terms of those smokes. You know there's someone over there. You just need to deploy a few smokes or a Molotov inside that area, and you can get a knocker too.
Indeed, of course, you can be getting those knocks with the nades as well, but also Molotovs is playing a massive role in these certain situations as well. But just take a look at one of the SLX member getting caught off guard in the open ground. Sam doesn't really have that cover onto his name and getting spotted by one of the members of XCBS. But just take a look at another member of SLX, Ironic, Satan 69, going to be one of the players that is going to be spraying down, but also taking a lethal amount of damage in the process as well. But so many people are going down in the process also. XCBS also has 2 of their member towns, but SLX Ironic only has 1 last man standing over here. How well it's going to be Execute doing in these kind of situations while he has to go up against the entire team of XCBS? It's going to be such a hard job for him to revive his teammate as well as use the utility on point and also get those knockdowns in going in for his favor.
And also they have to get inside the circle only and if they survive. So that's going to be a tricky situation, but they're kind of backing off. They know that this is not the fight to take. So now they will be prioritizing because they need those position points coming out. Execute, however, just spraying down with his AK, that might just be the mistake that he did not really intend on making because now they've been spotted. Now it's the players of Zos trying to spray down onto him. It's Dark, I believe, who's doing major of the damage and he's trying to keep him at bay over there. But the boys from NRZ, now they're in a very good spot right now, but Sharp, he does not seem like he wants to stop. A1 Esports 1952 might just get this one home.
Indeed, they have all their players alive as well, and they do have a better compound in this overall situation. But also, XCBS also has all their people alive, but they do not have a really good cover going on for them. So yeah, of course, positioning disadvantage might be coming up for them. And as we talk about 2 players already going down for them, this is such a massive disadvantage situation coming up for them. But Hyper Gaming, also one of the teams that you had your eyes on, also had 3 players alive. So now, like, the situation is so critical. Anyone can take this chicken dinner home in their hands. But also, Zos has one of their players alive. He might just take that chicken dinner as we saw yesterday as well.
Yeah, he certainly might. And, you know, NRZ Grim Reaper, they're doing such a good job. They've gotten those 6 kills along with A1 Esports 1952. So, Nopiol, he's still alive. He needs to be there to hold the push off. But certainly, he's in the panic room now. Now, NRZ, they are actually going in for the push. They know exactly where the players over there are. And the Molly, who just flushed them out. And there goes the squad falling down. And NRZ Grim Reapers, they are actually the Grim Reapers in the lobby, just slaying everyone that comes their path.
Exactly, I indeed knew and I had faith in this team because I have seen such well these guys play sometimes in those critical situations. But now Daddy, also one of the main players coming in for NRZ there. But one of the team is also getting eliminated. It's going to be AGXT9. Big names being eliminated inside this game. Now it's only down to these 3 teams. Which one is going to be coming out on top? Of course, A1 Esports having the highest odds over here. But of course, like with securing with all those 4 players, it's definitely going to be such a hard job. If you're going to be having one of your players just roaming outside like this, if he gets caught, it's going to be such a massive disadvantage coming up for your team, and this might just be a game over for you. But also a beautiful nade coming up from that man.
I mean, I believe that was a smoke, you know, just to try to flush it out. Yes.
Or maybe just like
yeah,
just
he might just panic and might just get off, and that's where like, hey, baited you.
Yeah, just like he baited me.
Yeah.
Exactly, indeed. But just take a look at this overall situation. There's so many smokes being used. The entire area is smoked out. It's going to be so hard for you to guess where the enemy is. But also at the same time, A1 having the high ground with that hilltop just a little bit, you know, on top of the edge. But isn't really going to be having most of the advantage going up in this situation. While we take a look at Sharp, going to be getting 1 knockdown for himself and going to be securing the kill as well. That comes the 1 point for his team. But are they going to be expecting there's going to be 1 man right next to them, and this is going to be the one in domination? What is going on? A1!
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. A1 Esports coming out on top with 14 kills. What an amazing performance by these lads. And we knew that they already had it in them. They just needed to, you know, just open up a bit. And once they did, once they played for the positions, 14 kills. I mean, had that been a 16 team lobby, they could have even you know, popped off a bit more kills. But I think it all just came down to the sheer good rotation timings, the map awareness, wise fights taking. So you know, all these in a combination kind of helped them in getting this chicken off. But nothing taken away from the players of NRZ Grim Reapers.
They were absolutely slaying.
Yeah, they were absolutely slaying. And in those final circles, they had a bit of a struggle because they had to just push in, and
the shift was
the position was compromised.
But also at the same time, like, as you had so much faith in this team, and they did come out on top. Now they're definitely going to be happy after that victory, and they have moved themselves so much up in those overall leaderboards, as we all know where they were.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is going to help them in the overall standings for sure. But right now, let's take a look at the MVP and see which is that one player. Of course, Sharp X, the way he's been performing. I mean, the damage, the kills. Yeah, but I would say it was in the end that the players of NRZ Grim Reapers just came down onto them. Not really have much of utilities to work around. And I think the spread, the numbers certainly did help the players of A1 Esports 152 towards those very end. Because if you remember, you know, we had the players over there already spotting out one of the players of XCVS. So another, you know, you can say it's another consistent performance from XCVS over here. Again, not getting those best of the kills, but still in terms of position points, I think they're pretty high. So, you know, getting back along as we are continuing this conversation. So this kind of went towards the Water City. We've seen those first initial circles being towards the eastern sides. We kind of acquainted with them. Then we really thought that this might go somewhere around the Rosehawk hills. But no, that did not happen. It took a lateral curve shift. So now let's take a look at the top players in the lobby and who they are.
Of course, top player, one of the players is going to be Sharp. It's going to be Magneto as well. So many players are coming in from A1 Esports. This definitely tells us that they were absolutely dominating the lobby. But NRZ, also one of the teams that was being so aggressive in those end circle and weren't really scared to push any kind of compound. They were just rushing inside. They were tearing everyone apart, and they were actually getting those hands. Getting those compounds in their hands, and Tulul definitely securing those 5 kills in his hand with 610 damage. That is definitely one of the good stats. If we talk about decent, as I would like to say, that is one of the decent stats.
I mean, I must say, you know, considering how they've been playing in the past, you know, the troubles that they've been going to, this is really good. Now they feel the pressure. They're like, okay, if we do not perform today, there might not be any PMCO to play for tomorrow. So they are playing it as it is their final few games. And let's take a look at the match summary and see how the numbers did work out this time around.
Indeed. I mean,
a few
I mean,
technical
yeah, a
glitches
few
here and there,
technical,
but
yeah.
we know pretty much, these teams really popping off big. So, it was more about how the circle shifts in Erangel all the single time and how well you position yourself during the fights while you take every single one of them. So I think A1 Esports, like we mentioned, the team that has won, but yes, finally
There we
got
go.
it fixed.
Finally fixed.
Yeah. So Theodore really getting the highest skills in the server.
Indeed, I mean, I was telling you that this man has been doing so well, but I feel like NRZ has been a team which the kills were kind of spread out in the whole squad there. Like everyone has to have like either 4 or like 3 kills on their back, but also at the same time, Tulu getting the most kills, securing that, and also longest distance kill is going to be only 277 meters. Yeah, it is still good if we take a look at that. It's going to be cloudy from NRZ as well. But A1 just all over the place. If we take a look at these three men are just all over the place, and it seems like these three have been doing such a fantastic job in making their team and putting the big hand behind the success.
Now, this is where it comes down to these two teams, at least A1 Esports 952 and NRC Grim Reaper starting off really well. But what matters is how consistent you are. So, of course, they did play off, they did pop off. Now, if NRC plays really well in the next 3 games, I think they might just have a chance of qualifying. And once the match rankings come, we will of course see how they are positioned after the overall standings. But right now, it was a very good game of PUBG Mobile coming out from the players of A1 Esports in terms of every player had almost 3 kills. It was just that one player who had gotten those 2 kills, so it was 12 kills for them. But let's take a look at the match rankings and see how the teams have performed in the first game of Erangel.
Indeed, of course. I mean, NRZ on the second spot and A1 just stealing that chicken dinner from them. And overall, just these overall stands, I feel like XCVS is also showing up themselves this time a little bit.
Yeah.
But of course, it's going to be a harder journey for them. But they still managed to secure those 15 points for them, which is definitely going to be helping them a lot more in climbing those ladder of the leaderboards. But Martis wasn't really able to show off much. We had I personally had high hopes from this team, and they weren't really able to just show off much, and even BD71 and TRZ getting eliminated early off. I mean, yeah, they are still in, but at the same time, you need to get those repetition points in sometimes. Just imagine if you are able to secure those top 3 positions, your name will of course be everywhere.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's about the bragging rights that we are talking about over here. So a lot of teams, that have already played the games have already gone up top after those 12 matches played. So now before we got started, we did find the players of TRZ on the 8th position. So there are also a few teams just below them, but they've gotten the numbers for themselves. They still have 3 more games to go, and I'm really sure by the end of the day, they might just end up with the chicken in this one. But XCVSE is a team that has been so consistent, and we'll be talking about them right now as we head on to our Oppo moments of the day and of this particular match. In fact, as quite some interesting fights did break out, and TRZ, this was what we've been talking about. You need to be a bit quick on your rotations, and they got caught off guard. They had a different plan, but finally we did get to see some DVS knocks coming out as well.
Indeed, we did get to see some beautiful knocks coming in, and also this fight overall, as we were talking about how unfortunate this situation or this positioning is inside that small room. I don't feel like you should ever try to sit just prone inside that little small room. Of course, it gives you so much disadvantage, and especially that you're prone, you're not really able to bob and weave and dodge the bullets as well. You're just going to be taking all the bullets right onto your head, because the first thing that is visible is your head. So I definitely feel like you are much more stuck in that situation. But also just take a look at NRZ over here. They are just rushing in fearless and just also proning. A little bit of snake shot coming in there as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, coming back to the discussion that we were having regarding the stairs and everything, that was very well pointed out by you. And, in situations like that, he was kind of helpless, to be honest. It was 4 players. Of course, like you said, you have to push one after the other. I mean, had he had a shotgun, could have made it, maybe got for a few knocks. But, considering how the teams have been playing, considering how the fights have been going around, teams tend to go with those pre-fires right when they're going. So we had seen all these, kind of shenanigans being out there. Yeah. So now we'll just head on to our overall rankings and see how the teams have come off after this game.
Indeed, of course, but TRZ dropping one of the slots down. Before they were on number 7, I think so, if I imagine. Or, okay, then maybe, okay, they were just
on the
there.
8, just being consistent.
Okay, yeah, okay, they are still on the same position over there. But also seems like, I mean, if they don't perform, it's definitely going to be much more harder for them. But just take a look at overall over there, and it seems like, yeah, they are, of course, going to be getting on top of there. And A1 Esports, just look at that, how much of a massive jump they have taken on the leaderboard.
Yes. Now this is really possible that if they play their cards right, I think by the end of the day, they might just end up somewhere around the 8 or 9 position, because you can see the remainder of the teams have already played their 12 games. But XCBSC definitely being one of those teams, you know, they were on the 9th spot. They've taken a huge plunge up onto the 5th position. And, you know, we were talking about this team. So every single day they come in, they get those consistent position points going in for themselves. They get those few 4-5 kills, and they've sort of figured out the meta. And this is a team that plays like, you know, the likes of Team RRQ Athena. It's really sad that they've kind of disbanded the roster, but that was a really good team, you know, having a very good history in those initial PUBG Mobile tournaments that we had. But as we move along further, this is really getting troublesome for, you know, teams like Hyper Gaming, for teams like Golden Stallion. For now, we think that we're still dreamers. We think that they still might have a chance to come back. But there's definitely going to be a moment when they realize themselves that it's basically donezo, and then they might just go in for those aggressive pushes. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading out for a short little break, because coming right next up is the beautiful map of Sanhok. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Bangladeshi region, of course, sponsored to you by Oppo Reno 5. As we head on to our last day of the group stages of, where we have teams from Group B and D going off against each other, the last hurrah, as we would call it. You know, so we've seen a few teams finally making that comeback possible, and you know, now if A1 Esports gets one more chicken, they're basically done. They're basically going to the regional finals.
They're securing their spot.
Yeah, but now let's shift our attention to NRC Grim Reapers. So this is a team that has been performing and in fact started off really well. So do you think that they can get a top 3 position in Sanhok?
Of course they can. I mean, if they just keep on continuing the killing spree that they were doing and just play how they were playing at this time, but also try to secure those top 3 the survival points as well. And if you are managing to get there, I'm pretty sure NRZ might as well secure a spot for them.
Yes, anything is possible, but you know, our predictions are definitely
coming
to life. Yeah, I mean, as the flight path trajectory, you know, as is going all the way from Hut N, all the way down to its Nakama, kind of a vested flight path. But like we've already been talking about in the past, you know, does not really matter in Sanhok at least. But what I'm really looking out for is
also at the same time, Fixes, even if that doesn't matter, you still have to waste so much time gliding to the place you want to go to. And of course, then the early rotation will not be possible for your team because you will have to put a little bit of time in looting as well and to just get to the comfortable spot as much as loot you want and then rotate inside the circle. If the plane path is right, like close to the place you want to drop, of course you can just drop in fast, loot, and then even contest those vehicles as fast as you can and also just keep on moving.
You know, the thing with Sanhok and the maps like Vikendi is we kind of get the circle in just after 60 seconds. So, you know, while a lot of teams are kind of, you know, traversing around, trying to figure out the drop location, and in mid-air they can see, oh, this is a circle. So, guys, time to change your course. But as we are talking,
first blood.
Yeah, first blood right off the bat.
This is what we expect from Sanhok.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, indeed. But also now, it seems like BD71 overall in a really healthy situation because they have already eliminated one of the players from... already...
Still?
What?
They've gotten 2 kills already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have already eliminated some of the players from there, and we definitely saw the first blood coming in on our screens, but we're a little bit clueless about the second kill. But now it seems like also Goku is in a really less HP and also a little bit of disadvantage coming in, but TRA is definitely in such an uncomfortable situation as they only have 2 of their teammates alive, and seems like BD71 actually does capitalize on the situation. But I feel like at this point, no one is really looted in that well. They might be lacking on those vests and helmets, and of course if you're going to be lacking on those helmets, you are just going to be going down in 1 bullet off an AR, so that's definitely going to be such a massive disadvantage if someone managed to hit a lucky headshot onto you.
Exactly, you know, the pure damage, the double damage proc really coming up, and now this is where BD71 they also have started realizing. I mean, we got to fix things up really fast, and that's a long Gren cook. So deploy it though, but not really connecting as the cat and mouse chases.
Like, where should I throw? Where should I throw? It's gonna burst in my hand.
And you know, they've got those vectors. Look at them surrounding them. Now they're gonna push in tandem, but well, putting quite a fight over there. But that's it.
Everyone just ramming into him at the same time. 3 people right in front of you, but now take a look at Sweet Love. Seeing his teammate getting knocked down right in front of him, and seems like they are already aware of where Sweet Love is. They're going to be spotting him down, and beautiful shots coming in from Ann, going to be taking down the entire squad of TRA. What are you doing, BD71? Already starting off with a banger.
Yeah, of course, right off the bat, and you drop at drop location, they're gonna punish you, and they did establish this fact. But let's talk about one of those most underrated weapons. In fact, a new addition we've seen for quite some time. The Mutant 47. So this is a weapon that has those bursts in 2 bullets, but it's still a 7.62 chamber one. So does have that damage, and if you've got the right attachments to back it up along, we've seen a lot of mobile players rather going into the barrel and the AK. But in those mid-range situations, this gun does have the damage to back itself up. Does give that slightly better recoil control, I must say. I mean, you've of course shooting in burst, or can also act as a DMR, a poor man's DMR, so as to say, because I kind of really am skeptic about those QBUs because they do not really have enough mags. At least you need those extra extended quick draw, or maybe an extended one to get that 20 bullets, or it's just 10. So kind of really, not the one that I would like to have in Sanhok, but it's an exclusive one, so we can't really complain. But moving on further, we've got the players of PXBS already taking a heavy loss. One of their teammates being eliminated right from the very start.
Of course, such a massive disadvantage coming up for them. Now they will have to play the entire game out with just 3 people, and of course, if they get unlucky enough, if they manage to lose another teammate, then that's definitely going to be so disappointing for them. But now take a look at Gengar over there. This man has been showing himself so partially, just the way he is playing, just the way he is just moving and all over the place, and just the way the call-outs are coming in. It's just so well. But seems like a little bit of troll coming in from XCBS.
Every single Sanhok game that I've casted, some or the other teams loves to take that vehicles. But this time we have not really seen a huge massacre. We've not really seen.
He's making his teammates struggle and try to swim towards him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do that. You guys are not fit. Yeah, take your swimming lessons and come to me. I'm not going towards you. I've got my course set because yeah, I mean it's understandable considering these boats kind of have a really off handling. So yeah. I guess he did not really want to go back and forth. He did not really want to take that trouble. He's like, guys, you swim and come here. I do not want to go back to.
Too lazy for that. I'm too lazy for that. Yeah. It's gonna be making me work so much because he will have to go in front, then come back, reverse the board around, and then go to the position wherever they want to go in. But now take a look at Hyper, one of the teams that you want to see succeeding as well. Last time they didn't really show themselves up, but I'm pretty sure in the future matches they will be getting those top 3 situations in their hands. But now it's going to be interesting to see, even if they do put themselves in those top 3 situations, how are they going to be capitalizing on those situations as well?
It's going to be really tricky, but like we've been mentioning about this team, we've been talking about them a lot. They've been creating
PL especially.
Yeah, PL especially. I mean, I would not really be surprised if I see him in a different squad in the next PMCO if they do not really qualify from over here, because he's been doing so much for his team and has been kind of that solo performer so far. I mean, I'm really sorry to be critical, but that is what we both might just agree on. Because Team Hyper, they've been seeing, it's still the first time.
They're crumbling apart on their knees, yeah.
So, they need to figure their, things out. But that being said,
taking a look at the airdrop, that beautiful M249.
Imagine Tootle on that.
Yeah, imagine like...
Oh, he's going for it.
Oh my god, he is. Imagine... NRZ being so aggressive as they were in the previous map with that M249 without those endless bullets. He will literally just spray down the entire squad right with that M249. It's going to be so interesting for we want to see him play with the M249. Please take it.
He's taken it. He's got that big machine gun. And now he's just going to mow down people, left, right, and center. He does not really have to care about, coming back to the cover, going for the reload. It's just, going all John Rambo over there. And just take everyone. And it's a perfect setting, right? He enters into the rainforest and strikes the hearts of the enemies. And this time we do not have one team, but in fact 2 that are going to be taking the waterways.
I mean, of course, the waterways are much more safer, but imagine these 2 teams just ram into each other with those boats, and what kind of chaos. We haven't really seen those since a long time. Like, I want to see a boat fight happening anytime soon. But now take a look at over here. It seems like AGXT9 definitely has a better view on the team that is right below them, and they do have the high ground advantage coming in. But also take a look at ERZ-TRZ, capitalizing on 1971's position and just scoping them down. They have spotted the players of 1971, but also at the same time, they do not want to take those shots in. But 1971 is also well aware of ERZ-TRZ people's positioning, so they're not going to be exposing themselves much as we are being expecting. But Rare, Mamba, we of course know these guys are such good long-range shotters, and you definitely do not want to challenge them. But also at the same time, yeah, this is a pro lobby, so of course everyone is going to be good at what they're using, and of course anyone will use the guns that they are comfortable with playing with.
ERZ-TRZ, well, last time they got picked up with the vehicles. They certainly are without one this time around. But now it's the players of Martyrs that have spotted down Mamba, the danger man, being taken down right from the very start. And Hitman, he's way too much in the open, and he's going to be punished for that. But somehow manages to get into cover at the right nick of time.
Of course, somehow managed to get in the cover. Going to be healing himself. Also, at the same time, going to be backing off to his teammates. Just, it feels kind of better when you are next to someone that you know and that you love and that you just trust. Of course, the same situation coming in from them as well. But just take a look at Flint. Seems like he just wants to take a complete overall different approach to the entire fight. Going to be trying to use a flank route. But just take a look at the airdrop too with that beautiful, beautiful AWM who is going to be taking this bad boy.
I mean, it's a really good weapon, but we've seen very rarely the teams. And we did see one being used in those final circles yesterday in the map of Miramar.
Didn't really work out in their favor, yeah.
Didn't really work out. But it's still that very sound of that weapon. You know your opponent has an AWM. You're not peeking at him. Because you never know. Your head might just get popped off. Does not matter if you come out with that level 3 helmet. Nobody cares. And you're just going to go down. So it's kind of really risky. You can be having multiple opinions about it, but well, Mamba
almost connecting a shot, almost a little bit, a pixel away from his head. But Adam just sprang right through the rock. The rock is not penetrable. You cannot be shooting right on him. So already 3 members losing from. Oh my God, what is happening? Hyper, you're absolutely just obliterating the team that is in front of you. You guys are so cruel. Now, GSES definitely is such a massive disadvantage in spots because they already have their 3 players knocked down. There's only 1 player left from them. And if GSES wants to survive, the 1 player, which is going to be Poison, he definitely would have to clutch this entire situation out in his hands. But Poison doesn't really seem like he wants to give his frag away that easily, so he's just going to be hiding inside a hut. But also at the same time, healing himself back up. Now, Chief and Poison. Chief is completely knocked down, but it's all in Poison's hand. If this man is managing to clutch this entire situation, it's definitely going to be so impossible task though. It's a 1-out-4 situation. Hyper has all their teammates alive as well in the process, and Poison is the last man standing for GSES. So now how is he going to be able to take this clutch in his hands and either just like try to clutch it overall? But it doesn't really seem like Poison is interested to fight. He's going to be smoking his position out completely and just going to be staying inside the smoke.
Yeah, he certainly will be. But now we've got the players, as we were talking about, Mortis not really having the kind of a start that they would have anticipated for themselves. So now ERZ, TRZ making those moves into those compounds. Flint is now aware of that situation. He's taken a lot of beating though. Yeah.
Lethal damage.
But somehow has managed to dodge it off. We've not seen a lot happening with those, gas cans, because in those past patch updates, you could just blow it up. So few teams have done that. Few teams in the pro leagues and in the, the GCs have certainly done that. But nothing really happening in the PMCOs. Maybe as the competition gets fierce, teams might come up with different stats.
Well, I mean, I still feel like if you're going to be using those gas cans, you're not pretty much serious about what is going on in front of you, because there is just so much overall better situations and positions that you can put yourself into. But also at the same time, Martis seems like they are in a heavy cover fire. They are under fire, but Hitman seems like he's going to be making the call to back off, and his entire team is going to be doing so as well. But NRZ, one of the teams that have been dominating in the previous map, but are they going to be able to do the same though? Doesn't really seem like they're going to be too aggressive this time. They are playing with those back lines, that they're just overall playing so safe, but they do know that there is one more team right in front of them, and it's going to be going to PX. Now, are they going to be able to challenge the fight between these 2 teams?
By the looks of it, it's kind of an aggressive position where we can see Zero trying to collect those extra information, but they need those flank angles. And in Sanhok, I've been really critical about how you need to approach the fight. Do not exceed the fight over a minute, because the moment you do that, there is high probable chances that you're going to get third-partied. So, we've seen every single time, it exceeds 1 minute, some or the other team, they're going with the rotation, and here's some gunshots, and like, guys, let's just join the party. Let's see what's going on, and that is what happens. So now, considering how the circle is just spanning out, I want to see where the next shift is going towards. Is it going to be towards the southern side of the Painan area? Because you've got a bit of a high ground over there. So the teams of AGT9, another team that has been really playing consistent, can play very, very well. But now things are going to get really difficult for the players of A1 Esports if it kind of takes that southeastern shift towards those 4 compounds that we have.
Indeed. I mean, but just take a look at over here. I hear a Uzi in mine. ears. And yeah, of course, one of the team members coming in that is going to be Cloudy. Seems like he's going to be utilizing the Uzi in the hand. And of course, in a map like Sanhok, you are going to be getting in those close quarter fights so much. Oh my god, that nade just busted right next to him. He didn't even have a chance to even like close his eyelid, and as we just see that nade just busting right onto his face. Now already 2 members are down for PX. Now they are in a massive disadvantage in a fight, just going into it forward. But also just take a look at NRZ, the seamless aggression, the fearless aggression coming in inside the house. Joker definitely in an uncomfortable spot, and is going to be taken down by all 3 of those NRZ members, and they are just pushing in right with a entire just, you know, they're just like people
so confident.
They're just so.
And, you know, to be honest, they started off with a grenade. They got that knock. Then they knew where the position of the player is. And they kind of just pre-fired in. So in the modes of TPP, pre-fires are very, very essential. As we see other fights also breaking out. And XEVAC trying to make their way inside the circle. But by the looks of it, they've been spotted.
Indeed, they have been spotted, but also at the same time, Sketch seems pretty well aware of the situation that is happening in front of him. But SLX Ironic also going to be going to like support their teammates up a little bit. But we see Sketch over here doing lethal amount of damage to the guy right in front of him, but not really going to be able to catch him off guard. But as we take a look, Golden Stallion Esports has been completely eliminated off the game. Such an unfortunate turn of events coming in from GSES there. As we also saw them, Poison was the last man standing before, but seems like Poison has been certainly crumbling down to on his knees. But now just take a look at BD71 as well. Just they are using their utilities early off, like already, because it doesn't really seem like they do have that crucial cover coming in for them. And he is going to be the last man standing for his team, and the other guy is definitely knocked out. So now it's going to be interesting for us to see how Goku is going to be playing out this entire situation, because his teammate is getting completely thirsted, which was Brawly. And that man was standing on his knees, but now he is completely down as well. But now, Goku, what are you going to be doing in a situation like this? Yeah, your back is completely clear. Yeah, but also at the same time, if you decide to move out of your cover, you are going to get contested by so many squads that is on your left front side, and there is one of you on the right side as well. But seems like he is not going to be scared of his to show his position away. As we take a look at over here, Daddy taking a little bit of damage from 1971 Alpha 49, but Alpha 49 doesn't really seem like he's going to be able to connect much shot. But as we take a look, Daddy going down, a massive knockdown coming in from 1971, and they are just going to be pushing right into it.
Yeah, they certainly are going to do that. And NRZ getting a taste of their own medicine, you know, as they were kind of off guard, they were punished for that. As the players of ZOS, who have been having a very rough time during this tournament, now they're getting a few kills for themselves. Now, this is sort of anticipated, you know, SLX Ironic having spotted down the players of XCBSE. Now, they know where Zaman is. He's cooking up that grenade, but it's a very wise decision from Zaman to just back off from that security outpost over there. Now, the ZOS are getting a few kills here and there, and NRZ in a whole world of trouble. But wow, a beautiful cover fire coming out there from Cloudy.
But it doesn't really matter. He's the last man standing for his team. He wasn't really able to save anyone from his team going down. But yeah, there are still 2 people knocked down from his team, and he might just be able to get those knockdowns up. But Tulul going to be the last man standing, or even I mean the last man down for their team. But now it's definitely going to be so harder for Cloudy just to get the situation overall in his hand. Yeah, he's trying his best to throw those utilities, but also at the same time, seems like the zone's going to be forcing them out of the position. And now Cloudy is finally saying goodbyes to his teammate, because there's going to be impossible for him to save his teammates, but also in the same time take a little bit of back damage as well. Seems like Alpha is going to be rotating all across the wall. A beautiful shot coming in from Alpha right through the back lines. He definitely did not expect Alpha to be so aggressive outside the zone.
Yeah, of course. Now, TRZ, having lost out on Rare, he's just knocked out. There's no chance on Earth that he's gonna get that res up. I do not even know why Mamba is even trying to do that. He's just delaying. He needs to get inside the zone. And STFU, he has been knocked out as well. So we've got to see how they carry on with this fight. As A1 Esports 952, they're taking some heavy beating, because remainder of the players, they're so lost, they're so far away. Sharp, I mean, he goes down, and with that, the entire squad taking a bow at the 7th position.
Indeed, SLX Ironic going down as well. Early eliminations happening over here as we take a look at Tasmin over here. He's just doing so good. Now, just take a look at Mamba as well. Taking so much lethal damage from that zone. You need to heal yourself, Mamba, to get inside the zone as well. But also at the same time, he's trying to wrap around. But is he going to be able to make it, though?
No.
It doesn't really seem like. He should have stopped and at least bandaged himself up to a little bit of HP. But also at the same time, he was taking so much damage. Now, one of the AGXC9 member also going down to a beautiful nade coming in. And what are you doing, Wolves? You're just absolutely blasting it off with those nades. You are just absolutely obliterating everyone. And as we also take a look, ZOS9071 has been eliminated off the game. Wolves, you are an absolute beast when it comes to just absolutely dominating those end circles. Jigsaw, we have been taking a look at this man. Is just absolutely dominating the entire situation that is in the last circles.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's Martis going against Wolves for the final fight, and ERZ, TRZ, like we mentioned, have already been eliminated. Mamba not really being able to patch himself up as he did not have any first aids, and considering it was a 6th circle, I mean, bandages would have been really not helping his cause. But right now, I think 2v3 situation. No, it's a 2v4. It's a 2v4. And I think the stacks are pretty much heavy onto which the players of Team Wolves. The other pack finally showing themselves up. They've done that in the past. This game is where they start redeeming themselves. But considering the fact that they already know where the martyrs are, it's going to be a rather, easy game coming out from them. Look at the shift now. It's completely favoring the boys from Team Wolves. Now, martyrs will have to enter inside, and there's very, very slim chances of them pulling this one off.
Indeed, it's going to be so hard for Martis to actually pull this one off. Now, they will also have to use the little bit of smoke grenades if they have any left, and also try to get inside the zone, as the smoke grenades are going to be providing those temporary cover. But soon and later, they will be fading off as long as Martis will realize that Wolves will realize that Martis is not inside the zone. There comes the first knockdown coming in from Wolves. Beautiful knockdown, as they were just looking for an opportunity to breathe a fresh air. And now there comes the utilities to flush anyone behind that shack. Going to be dealing so much damage. Beautiful, another nade coming in from him. Going to be now Flint is going to be dying to the play zone as well, but the res was going to be coming through, but doesn't really seem like it's going to be successful. And Ninja is just stuck behind the shack a little bit there. Ninja is taking lethal damage, and in the process is going to be dying to the zone. And there comes a beautiful chicken dinner.
You know, the only consolation that Martis can just take away from this game is that they did not really give the kills away, of course. But Wolves Black Diamond coming out on top with 5 kills, and we know, these guys did have the potential to do that. We've seen glimpses of it in the past. They've gotten those chickens, but this one taking them to the 15th position on the overall rankings. Now things are starting to spice up, because from here onwards they need to get at least to those 11-12 position, because you can never rule your chances till the last game. You never know what happens in Miramar. So they've done a fantastic job, and we've been talking about this a lot of times. You know, it's the comeback meta, to be honest. You know that you're somewhere in the 25th, 26th spot. One good game with some decent amount of kills can get you right back in to the league. So now let's take a look at the MVP, as the circle really played with the hearts of the players, not really being able to make those rotations coming out. So not a very huge kill fragging game, but Adam coming out on top with just 3 kills and 453 damage.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in Sanhok we have been witnessing so many games, and like not really most of the players are coming out with those like massive kill numbers, because I feel like the kills are getting evenly distributed between the teams, and just overall evenly distributed between the maps as well. But also the teams that are getting eliminated early off are getting so much like disadvantage for those upcoming maps as well, because they will have to climb themselves up the leaderboards. And yeah, of course, it's going to be such a hard journey going up for them.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be a hard journey coming out from them. But today we did see the players of NRZ Grim Reapers. They're trying so hard. And, you know, if they can't make it to the regional finals, my heart will be broken, because I feel for them the kind of aggression that they are showing. Had they done the same thing, you know, in the first day, in fact, it could have been a completely different outing. They could have been in those top 5, top 6 situations. But now let's take a look at the top players and see who they are.
Of course, going to be Adam with those highest kills. Seems like he's going to be having those 3 kills coming in for him. But also at the same time, let's look at this. I told you that the kills are evenly distributed over here. But yeah, overall MVP was Adam, because he has a high damage number coming in, and also at the same time high survival numbers as well. But Bad Asians, BD Asians is also having 19 minutes and 39 seconds in his hand as well. So yeah, of course, that man was surviving for the longest, as he was one of the players that won the chicken dinner, which is going to be Wolves.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've seen the new MVP system coming out from the PMPL, where priority is given less to the kills rather more to the damage and your survival time. So they did manage to make it. But yeah, huge props to the players of SLX. Ironic, the kind of a gameplay that they displayed, completely shutting off the players of XCVAC, completely denying their entry inside the zone, and he had a lot of job to do at that. So and we did see in Sanhok a lot of players are being taken out from the circle. Now a lot of players are making those small few mistakes, like ERZ, TRG. Had Mamba not gone to revive his teammate in that 5th circle, rather had he prioritized the zone, maybe he could have survived. So small things make huge changes. But now let's take a look at the match summary and see how the numbers game did work out.
Of course, Asian with those 3 kills, and Leo going to be showing himself up with that 265 meter. Actually pretty good, pretty long shot there. And Adam going to be showing up with the highest damage, which is going to be 453. And then Arceus with those just meters traveled the longest distance, and it's going to be then BBY, Bappy with those 3 maximum assists. But this is what exactly I was telling you, Fix, that the kills are just like evenly distributed amongst all the people. And in a map like Sanhok, of course, there's like so many people just running in front of you, and there's just like running all over the place. So of course, like you getting all the kills is not going to be happening anytime soon. Of course, the kill will be distributed amongst your teammates as well.
Exactly. I mean, in the map like Sanhok, it becomes really predictable. You've got those tall grasses, you've got those rocks everywhere. You just position yourself beside that and become one with the nature. That's all you got to do. Someone will of course try to just pass by. It's completely upon you. You either take those shots, you just wait and be more patient. Try to figure them out. Try to read them out. The moment they've got their eyes at someone else, the moment they're taking a different fight, that's when you bounce. That's when you leave. That's when you bite them from behind. I mean, come on, it's a game of survival. Nothing is really fair, at least when you are in the battlegrounds. But now let's take a look at the match ranking and see how the teams have come out in this one.
Of course, Wolfpack Diamond with only 20 points though. I mean, they weren't really able to secure that many of points. If we take a look, like indeed they got those 15 points just from the chicken dinner, and it seems like they were only able to secure only 5 kills in their pocket as well. But it seems like Hyper Gaming overall had so many kills going in up there for them. But NRZ, as you see, say they were like really being aggressive, but they were only able to wipe 1 full squad, and then later on they have been wiped by someone else as well. But in the process as well, if you take a look at overall just the squad, BD71, they haven't really been able to show up themselves also.
I mean, the only consolation that the players over there can take is that they've got those 4 kills. So, right now had NRZ not taken those 4 kills, they would not have been getting those 5 points. They would not have been in the top 8. So that's the new point system really hurting you. We've seen all these difference being so less between all these teams right now. So comebacks are of course there as we head along to our beautiful Oppo moments of this particular match. And yeah, right off the bat, TRA biting the dust, and that was a very well executed push by the boys from BD71. But that's as far there as they could go. The same situation happened with NRZ Grim Reapers. They managed to wipe out a squad, but they got eliminated quite early on.
Indeed, they did get eliminated quite early on, but also at the same time, as you were talking about, one thing we definitely did forget over here, that was A1 Esports.
Yeah.
Now, they got eliminated so early off because they won the previous game. I feel like we expected so much better from them this game as well, as it was the map of Sanhok, but they didn't really seem like they were able to show up much over here. But of course, there are 2 more maps going up for them, and hopefully we hope that they are able to show themselves. But this nade over here, such a beautiful nade coming in from the team right in front of them, and this spray as well. Just like overall, Wolves have been showing such a consistent performance in this entire tournament, as we would like to say, and I feel like Wolves definitely does deserve that chicken dinner there.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Finally playing like a pack together. That's where they thrive. The lone wolf, well, it's not that kind of a situation where you just rely on that one player, so you have that alpha, does not really matter. Let's move on to its overall ranking, because that's what we are talking about. Last 2 more games remaining. Can these teams make it?
I mean, yeah, of course, ERZ, TRZ, as you take a look, before they were on the 8th position, they have definitely moved up this time. And even it seems like XCVS has also moved up. But the teams that have moved down are Max and Gods Reborn and KS Axe. Now, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They have secured those spots for them as well. But just take a little look over here. AGXT9, it seems like they have also moved themselves up. And just overall, all these leaderboards, I feel like Wolves Diamond has taken a massive leap in the leaderboards.
Yeah, they certainly have. Now they've cemented their position in the top 15. Now, if in those 2 matches, if they get something around 10 points also, they are solidifying their position in those finals. But this is where questions come. Can Martis do it? Can Squad BD71 do it? Can the teams of the likes of Hyper Gaming do it? So even NRZ Grim Reaper, that is also one of the storylines that we have for you. But might just be a bit far-fetched, because for NRZ Grim Reaper to really have a chance in the top 15, they will have to get a chicken dinner, and that too with some good number of kills.
I mean, one thing definitely put a smile on my face, that see Chaser Evolution on the leaderboard there. The way yesterday they played was so unfortunate for them. But of course, yeah, they weren't really able to just do anything over there in the entire games that we saw, and they were just getting eliminated off early bats. But coming back to the teams that are playing today, of course, we want to see NRZ success in the entire coming up, because I also want to see them get there, because we have seen how hard they're trying. They're trying their best, and we know they have some really good players coming up, from Cloudy to Daddy. Like, they just have so many D's in their names.
Yeah, they certainly do, and the storyline goes on. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading for a short little break, because coming right up is the deserty land of Miramar. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Bangladesh edition, of course, sponsored to you by Oppo Reno 5, as we are in our final days of our group stages. So, finally, we've seen our two teams really pop off. That's A1 Esports 952 and Wolves Black Diamond. Now, NRZ Grim Reapers, the storyline comes down to this particular team. So, what do you think? Can they pull this one off? Do you think that they can really pop off in Miramar? But before that, let's take a look at the player cards of A1 Esports and see how their starts have been so far in this tournament.
Indeed, I mean, A1 Esports, of course, they have been trying to put up a competition in front of all the teams that have been showing up for them. And it seems like, yeah, so at some time and point, they are actually able to do that. But also in the previous map, we saw them just getting eliminated absolutely early bats. That was such an unfortunate situation for them. But I feel like even though upcoming maps, which is going to be Miramar right now, of course, there is going to be a massive chance for them to actually show up there, because Miramar is definitely one of the map which is like things are so much more calm and everything is just like more passive. And in the end, it just comes out like on the better positioning. Whoever has the high ground will definitely get such a massive advantage in situations and even in overall just view and just getting those kills.
Yeah, of course, I mean 100% agree with you, because Miramar is a map where you can kind of control the situation, and considering you've got that, you just got 14 teams, so it's gonna be a little bit more breathable for these teams. Now, this is a team that we've been talking about, NRZ Grim Reapers. Let's take a look at them, and like you've been mentioning, you know, we've seen Daddy, we've seen Cloudy kind of going really heavy for this team, but you know, it's been Daddy so long, having that 1.2 kpm. So I think this is one of the players that we have to watch out for, kind of, if you talk about those individualistic performances. He's been there for his team, right?
Indeed, they have been there for their team, but it's kind of weird that Astro has 0 kills from the 8 matches played, and it's definitely going to be such a hard thing for Astro coming up and going forward in those matches as well. Astro definitely, even if he's that support player for their team, I still feel like Astro should get a little bit of numbers on the board as well for their team, because at a certain point right now, it definitely feels like Astro is just getting carried away with his team, and he definitely needs to put a little bit of numbers in as well.
I mean, at this point, you gotta feel bad for Astro, because he's got 900 damage and 0 kills. So yeah, he's been doing that support role like you exactly mentioned. So he's been going into those revivals. But so far it hadn't been really a huge tournament for NRZ Grim Reapers, because we've seen them, you know, popping off in those particular fights. Their micro gameplay is really good. You know, those individualistic fights that they take, the gunpowder is really on point. But when it comes about rotation, they sort of need a bit more experience. And talking about experience in the map of Miramar, it matters a lot. And talking about Miramar, let's just head into the game and see what's waiting for us.
Indeed. Oh, actually a beautiful plane fly path. Such a good plane fly path. Like, I haven't seen that in a long time of witnessing Miramar games. But now it's going to be interesting to see which teams are going to be dropping off literally on bats. Now, let's see. Just take a look over here, which will be the first, and it's going to be Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves, after that chicken, they're looking really confident. I just hope that they do not like really step on the guns right now. They need to play the normal game. They need to stick to the basics. And A1 Esports 952, we cannot really blame them, considering how the circle really panned out. They had a lot of trouble, you know, kind of rotating. Yeah, the timing's going to be better, but again, it's Sanhok we are talking about. So this is a map where A1 Esports 952 needs to solidify the spot, needs to get into that top 8 and kind of secure it. And they're not far behind. So a few good games, I mean, even if they get 5 points from this one, 5 points from this one, and the 5 points from next, I think they're pretty much done. They need nothing to really worry about. And well, now the pressure has sort of lifted from over them, but we're still waiting for the zone to pop off. I want to see where it heads on, because I'm having a hunch maybe towards El Azhar or okay, it's completely
God, look
going
at the
towards
shift.
the west inside. Yeah.
Now Martis is definitely going to be having a hard time, because they are going to Puerto Paraíso. Now it's going to be such a hard job for them to actually contest. Even if they manage to contest the week, I feel like the rotation will still be so late. But now just take a look at Sad Matt here. Yeah, I mean, of course it's going to be so hard for that, because yeah, overall it's just like such small target, a 1 pixel on your screen, and you're trying to shoot that. It's going to be such a hard task indeed, and indeed he's not going to be able to successfully do that as well. But I mean, yeah, overall what I was talking about was that Martis, even if they want to rotate inside the circle, it's definitely going to be such a hard task for them to actually rotate inside, while the circle has completely shifted on the top left side over there. And also, as we take a look at the circle, I feel like 20% of the circle is literally outside the map, like where the place where there's like no man's land. Yeah, of course you can go there and try to contest the spot, but I don't feel like the circle's going to be shifting there. Yeah, there have been certain times that the circle have been shifted completely to ruins over there on like the complete left side, but also those are like so rare, you know?
Yeah, they certainly are. And you know the thing about these teams over here, in fact, Sadmat, if you go back a couple of seconds earlier, those shots, you know, they were just flying chickens in the air. So had he gotten those shots connected, I mean, it's very difficult to do so. But if you get that, it's just satisfying, you know.
Imagine you just hit a lucky headshot with that.
Lucky headshot, pew. There you go. You don't need that parachute anymore. He's just gonna pop off. You're gonna drop down dead.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If that actually happens to me, I'll literally start yelling, "This guy's cheating! There's no way he hits it."
But you know, we've seen you know, these shots. In fact, in the GC, a few of them made by the Chinese teams, and they were so impeccable. They were so good. They were so beautiful with their aim. But now moving along further, we did see that Western Circle, right? So a lot of teams might be thinking that El Pozo is definitely a good spot, and that's where they find themselves in right now. So I kind of feel that the circle during those end phases might just take a little bit of shift to the northern side towards those hills. So let's see which team does understand those points, because in El Pozo you've got those huge skyscrapers of buildings that if you capitalize it well is going to give you such a good advantage. But at the same time, the moment the circle shifts away from you, that's when the trouble begins.
Indeed, that's when the trouble begins. But now just take a look at 1971, having the entire you know, just overall the city for you is just going to be such a massive thing coming in, as you're going to be so comfortable looting anywhere you want, also getting that crucial loots in. But also one thing they're doing really good over here and strategizing out is getting those early rotation in the circle, while we also take a look at PXE Storm taking a little bit of shots onto the team that are trying to rotate, and it's going to be 1971, but not going to be able to connect any though. So I feel like right at this point they are just wasting their bullets.
They certainly are. That they are. You know, just, you know, it's still, you know, those bullets does not really matter if you kind of connect the shots or not. As long as you fend off your opponents, and as long as you do not really let them enter in your territory, or as long as you make your presence known, it's fine. And of course, these are those early game phases. You're gonna get those bullets.
Big gun right there.
Yeah, big gun right now. He's gone for it. He's not gonna lose that one out. And
who wouldn't tell me?
Yeah, I mean, I might, because I'm not a huge fan of the M4, but it's okay. This gun is broken. I understand. I still kind of prefer those 7.62 weapons. But yeah, you need to be really cautious with your loadout management if you're going for the 7.62 chambered weapons, because their ammos are really heavy. They carry a lot of space. So that's the only thing that I'm really concerned about, because we know these are all professional players. They're very prolific with their aim. It's not the recoil control that they have to worry about.
One thing we have definitely not been seeing much in action is going to be the
stuns.
Yeah, going to be the stun grenades. Yeah, they haven't really been like much. Oh my god, what is happening? Alpha going down early off for his team. Such an unfortunate circumstance coming in, and it's going to be 0 with the first blood onto Alpha. And these guys are just completely spraying out on that one car. Imagine 4 people just standing still, spraying on your car with those AKs coming in, with those M4s coming in. This is going to be dishing us so much damage onto your car, and also at the same time, I'm pretty sure his car is on a lethal condition at this point.
I've completely felt like we are, you know, inside the game. You know, all 4 players. Guys, I spotted an enemy out. Wait, let's just blow him up.
And
boom, boom, boom. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
All of them are just firing at you. I would be so scared of my life, and I would literally just drive away, as the same thing was done by one of the 1971 members as well. But taking a look over here, see, oh my God, this man is just running out in the field. This man is not scared for his life. You need to watch out, my brother. You need to actually take a look around you, and also at the same time, just try to take a look and just scout out the area in front of you as well, because there is a team right in front of you. I'm pretty sure at this point you are hearing those footsteps coming in, and one of the GSES member is just knocked out right in front of him. Now, that's going to be a kill for him, of course, if he manages to spot him out. But it doesn't really seem like he's going to be well aware of the situation that is. One guy is right knocked next to him. That can be an easy free kill for his team. But it doesn't really seem like he actually wants to go for that, though. He is just going to be staying back and going to be scouting out. Also, he is scared that GSES might peek out when he tries to make a rotation onto the guy that is knocked in front of him. But that doesn't really seem the case. And just take a look at over here. SLX GR under heavy fire, but not going to be taking any damage. So that's a good thing coming up for them.
That certainly is, you know. And you're not talking about the teams like AGT9. So they've been in the thick and thins of it. They're doing good, but not as good as ALK9, to be honest. So you've got a lot of T9s, you've got a lot of K9s. You've got to act like the latter.
999.
Yeah, a lot of them. But ZOS really not having a good tournament. But like we mentioned, you know, they're going to take a lot of experience as to how things get when you start playing those semi-pro leagues. Because after this, the pro leagues coming up, you know, you've got those best players from different areas of the earth you know, coming in together, showing what they are made of. But now Thunder, he's scared, he's shivering as, you know, those grenades are being popped off towards him. It's just a matter of seconds before he absolutely gets demolished.
Indeed, but at the same time, Thunder holding his ground pretty well, standing at top of the boxes and just going to be saying that I am not scared of anyone that is in front of me. At the same time, Thunder does have a little bit of cover advantage over there behind that box, and he is using that third-person perspective for his advantage as much as he can, throwing those utilities out. At the same time, getting flushed out from those windows. Thunder is in such a heavy cover fire, but now Thunder getting one knockdown onto one of the players, but also trying to change his position. Oh my God, you barely made it behind the wall, but there's one more guy, Thunder, right in front of you coming up. It doesn't really seem like he's going to be able to clutch the situation out this time, and that's going to be early elimination coming out. It's going to be ZOS 1971. They are trying to be aggressive, but at the same time, they're not able to get any success in their hands in being aggressive, and also at the same time they are getting caught off guard while they're trying to make rotations. ZOS, you definitely need to be so careful in those crucial rotation spots, and of course when you're being aggressive, you need to challenge fights a little bit in a unique way.
I mean, this comes down to a discussion, you know, how many vehicles should you take right now? You either go with 4, you've got 4 players, you know, but you need to have that perfect cover fire for each other. You do not need to be very far. The other teammate is somewhere in another direction of Planet Earth. So that's not how it goes. So teams need to understand, you know, the small nuances that we are talking about. And or else you can take the safer route. Take 2 vehicles, get those players, you know, trying to provide that assistive fire. Even if you get caught in a sticky situation, you know, still it's the numbers obviously being that advantage for you. But as we are speaking, the airdrop, you know, coming in, the first airdrop, that's the AWM. But look at the players of SLX. They've taken some heavy beating, but they did manage to get those 4 kills out from here. They are going to get those res on, but Pial being spotted out by Saman. That's a 3 times, so not gonna do much.
Indeed, it's not going to be able to do much, but also at the same time, PL seems like he's going to be retreating backwards to his teammates, and Zam just throwing a smoke grenade, making sure the cover is still intact for the teammates while they are getting the res in. It seems like Satan is going to be back on his feet, but at the first time, Satan, yeah, of course, doing the right thing, healing first and then retreating is the best thing you can do, because you, of course, do not want to get knocked out with that only 1 bullet. But I feel like Satan over here is just overcommitting for smoke grenades, and he's just wasting them in a situation like this. And look at the cars over here. I definitely like that parking, and next time I will make sure I'm gonna park my cars just like that. Of course takes so much less position, and just take a look at the style points Ninja is gaining himself. And I'm pretty sure, I'm so thankful for our observer to actually spectate this moment right here.
Oh my goodness! I mean, this is how you try that Mirado, and yeah, of course. Imagine that this situation had that been an enemy in that compound, and he just rides past by, and in the mid-air he gets blown off. So that would have been a completely different situation. But I think they've been spotted out right now.
Of course they would. When you see a massive car flying like a plane above, why would you not get spotted?
What is happening though? I mean, these teams, they're enjoying. Okay, so that is what we can really conclude from over here. Martis, they're not really having the best of the tournaments like we've been mentioning in the past, kind of struggling. But before you go off, try to ease down a bit. You know that you've got to just walk off with your heads held high, get a few chickens. So yeah, I think that's what they're trying. They're just trying to enjoy. And these are the teams that you need to be really worried of. Now, when the pressure lifts off, now when you're not really worried about anything, that's when you can show your true colors. That's when you can just put your hearts out. And we know all these players know how to shoot. It's just those positioning during those fights, just those movements that make the difference between the best and the average.
Indeed. Of course, every small mechanics makes you the best player. Of course, the best player has each and every single mechanic master, which is going to be shooting, recoil, just overall gunplay, and then movement also comes in there. Then even those driving skills, also strategizing the map out, that is what makes a best player good. Just overall mastering the entire mechanic of the game. But also, one of the Team Hyper members seems like he is struggling a little bit over here on the loot part over here. And now just take a look at this airdrop in just a no man's land out of nowhere, but also with that Groza 4X. So now, I mean, have you ever used a Groza and 4X? I have tried that.
I even tried that, but initially you get that punch, that bad aim punch, and your just weapon.
But once you're like stable and spraying it down, then it's really.
But my question to you would be: do you like the suppressor on the Groza, or
of course,
do you like those beautiful sound towards the lobby?
Suppressor. I feel like suppressor on any gun sounds so peaceful. Other than the M416, I feel like when I use a suppressor on the M416, I feel like I'm using a gun made out of plastic and it's actually trying to shoot bullets, and the sound that comes out, and also it makes me feel like the spring inside the gun is actually just like rusty.
You question a lot of things there, but look at the players of PXBS. They're going after the boys from Wolves, who are finally kind of isolated from each other, and there you go. Darkman getting that one knock, and well, a few are going to follow. Arceus also being taken out from the equation, and this is a team that is really good as a pack. Now, if you isolate their players individually, which really happened in this certain case, they're going to fall down. They're going to fall down really hard. And we can see Rofi being the last surviving members. And he did give away his position over there, but still managing that one knock. He does want to get that kill, does want to get that very crucial, kill point. But not the case. Not the case over here, as, well, they wipe out.
Yep, indeed, his position has been compromised. Now, take a look at the elimination spree here. It seems like Wolves have been eliminated off early this time. It's such a massive disappointment coming here for me personally, because I am a Wolves fan. And I definitely did not expect. But seems like A1 this time is going to be in a massive trouble early off, as they have lost one teammate already. One teammate is already knocked down. The another knock comes in, but this time it's going to be on the A1's enemies, though. A1 doing a fantastic job in capitalizing the situation and also working well under pressure, because they already have one of their players down, as also at the same time they are getting shot from the back, which is going to be XTVS is going to be putting on a little bit of pressure on the A1. They're just sandwiching them from both of the sides, and also trying to make them paralyzed because they are shooting the vehicle tires as well. Now, over here overall, just take a look at Martis over here as well. Now, they are just in one of the corners of the map, and I feel like there's just like they are smoking themselves out. But overall, also at the same time, no one is really focusing on you, Hitman. It's like you're completely safe, but also I get it. You want to loot in peace and safe. So, of course, yeah, doing that is, of course, going to be giving you an extra bit of trust around the area that you are in. But the area that you're in is definitely not safe for you right now, because there's four teams fighting across the areas, and they are fighting each other. So I feel like Martis definitely need to find a little bit of better and safe position for themselves if they want to get those top 3 or even just those top 10 positions going up for them, because Martis hasn't really been showing up in the whole tournament so far.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. Martis did, try to do something, but now, how does he get out? Yeah, he does. But now he's in the open. Oh my goodness, that's suicide.
Oh no.
Oh, he's like,
but he also got stuck there. He had no other choice. He got stuck in the little gap in between the rocks.
Blunders. This is those nerves rattling. All right,
If I was in his place, I would have definitely been mad. I would have thrown my device away. Another one.
Now his teammate was like, "Hey, buddy, you're stuck. I'm not gonna let you die together. Now I'm not gonna be able to kill them, but I'm sure I can join you as well." So Zozox really making the plunge. Not really needed.
A team player right there. This is what I like to see. Even his teammates dies and goes to the heaven, he's like, I'm going to join you because I'm a team player. I'm not going to let my teammate die all by himself. I will join you.
I mean, imagine Hitman going to hell and him joining, and the gods are like, "Hey, you did a good job. I'm sending you up to heaven." I mean, that's bad. That's bad from our side. But yeah, let's just go on with what we do see over here. That's Team Martis. They've got their 2 players in those compounds completely Heather and Scatter for their position wise. So not really the kind of an outing that they would have wanted for themselves. Of course, those last few games remaining, but now. XEVSE, we've not been talking about them a lot because in the first game they did somehow manage to get the top 3 spot, and in the second game they still somehow are going good with those 5 points, 5-6 points every single game, and they've kind of been so consistent. I think the most consistent team from my opinion is gonna be XEVSE, considering how many position points that they've garnered for themselves.
Yeah, of course, it's actually impressive how much position points these guys have been racking up for themselves since the past 3 games. But also, if you guys take a look at A1 Esports, they only have 1 player down. I mean, it's only down to the 1 player that A1 has left in the game. And as you being an A1 fan, you would definitely be so disappointed as we just take a look at over here. PXBS in a massive trouble. Storm, one of the definitely important members when it comes down to PXBS. They definitely do not want to lose a player like Storm because he is an absolute diamond, and you do not want to lose a diamond.
You certainly do not really want to lose out over here. But, getting along with the game, we have the players of BD71 already losing out on Wizzy. So they do want to, of course, get on top of things right now. They've been having such bad outings lately. And Wobby, this is one of those players, is really promising. He did, show up in the top players list last time around. But is this going to be it? Oh, look at the big green cannon, Silkar. Really yielding it. I think he needs to get back to his teammate. It's going to be a really tough spot for him, to try and get that res on, considering this is the 5th circle, which is going to close in just after 30 seconds. So it's going to be really crucial. But look at the splash of colors. So many players around.
Indeed, there are so many players around in a little bit of spot over there, but also at the same time, that beautiful, peaceful arm sound coming in as well. Zulgar firing it for the first time inside the game, but is he going to be able to get much done with that AWM, though? There is PXBX right out in the open. I feel like he should actually scope in and try to, zoom inside the situation that exactly is happening over there. And I'm pretty sure he might just find a leg or two just peeking out a little bit for a split second, and he might just be able to get a knockdown going on for himself much more. But one thing we are definitely not focusing on much is big teams having all their actually players alive this time. Just take a look at SLX Ironic and even XEVS Esports having all their 4 players alive in these games. And even TRZ doesn't really seem like they are in the worst possible situation coming in, but they do have much more players alive as well as they are going in. But as we keep talking, a massive elimination coming in. TRA, which is going to be the Red Army, going down as well. Martis losing on one of their players. Now the screws are definitely falling loose for Martis over here. They definitely need to do something to get the situation right in their hands back in. But just take a look at TRZ, also in such an uncomfortable spot, putting those smokes in. Just just to cover, just to grab a little bit of cover fire. Also at the same time, a temporary cover coming in from them as well, but also taking a massive nades damage. While we just take a look, they are just getting bombarded by nades from all over the place.
Yeah, they certainly are, and that's the boys from Team Hyper that are creating such nuisance across the map, and huge disappointments out there. A1 Esports 952 also being eliminated at pretty early into the game, just getting 2 points out of this one. This is gonna definitely build some pressure, and they did relieve it after getting that chicken in the first game, but after that they've been looking shaky. But now STFU, he's that important res on Rare. He's already out of the equation, and now I mean this is where it's questionable. Mamba is your best fragger. Why are you letting him revive? He should be the one trying to provide you cover fire. So a lot of questionable decisions being made by ARC TRC. So this kind of these kind of small strats kind of segregate the semi-pro and the professional teams out there, but gives enough room for the players of Marches to really kind of trying to close in. And one good grenade from either of the players might just lead into the demise of the entire squad of ERC.
Indeed, it might just actually just make them crumble down to their knees. But also, if we take a look, look at this zone over here. It's out in middle of nowhere. It's in such open ground. And Martis, of course, securing the higher ground for them as well. And also, TRZ is going to be right on their right side as well. But one of the teams that definitely has a really good cover is going to be BD71. Now, in the late circle going forward, they definitely have such a massive cover for favoring them. While Hyper also trying to make a move inside the circle, it's definitely going to be so hard for them to get inside the circle. Because just take a look at this. Even if they are exposing their bodies for even a split second, they are just taking so much cover fire. But now, a massive name getting eliminated also. It's going to be Golden Stallions Esports. It's going to be GSES getting completely eliminated out of the game as well. This team hasn't really been able to show off any of their skills to us since a long time. Well, just take a look at NRZ. I feel like we kind of have left out NRZ just for themselves because they haven't really been popping off this game much, and we haven't really been seeing their name in the kill feed much as well. But just take a look at Sketch as well. Just trying to, pump out a little bit of shots of the Mini 14, making sure the rotation is not happening so early on, just to delay the rotation from the enemy team. SLX Ironic definitely doing a really good job when it comes to contesting those covers in their spot. But just take a look at that massive spray coming in from TRZ, which is going to be Atomic.
How are these players even alive, considering the situation?
No.
And there you go, being taken down in Sketch, putting the final nail in the coffin over there. But now Sketch still continuing his onslaught as XCBSE even bow out on the 6th position this time around with, of course, 4 kills. That's still gonna, put them up in the leaderboards. But right now, the players of Team Hyper, they are alive. They are doing good. Now, if you take a look at NRZ, so I mean, Zero, he was alive for a second, and another grenade is coming down any single time, any single moment. But there you go, Cloudy also taking an exit. But this is still really promising, 4th position, getting a few number of kills. But Hyper, finally, we can say that they are in good contention of getting the chicken in this one.
Indeed they are, but at the same time, things might turn on any side anytime soon. But as we take a look at SLX Ironic also completely dominating circle, and one of the big teams getting eliminated as well, it's going to be NRZ. But now just take a look at how unfortunate situation BD71 is. They came down to having the best cover, and now having one of the worst cover in their hand as well. But it's just going to be one of the BD71 players who's going to be alive for the long time. But how long is he going to be able to do much though? Rafi will be crumbling down on his knees to revive his teammate, but seems like Rafi is also taking so much damage in the process of doing that as well. SLX Ironic is just an absolute beast, tickling out damage from the enemy teams, just dishing out so much damage in the process as well when the teams are trying to reposition themselves inside the late circles.
Yeah, of course, but Pial, his head is barely visible. Zaman trying to dish out so much damage, but not really succeeding at that. Now, finally, we are in a 3v3 situation as just 2 teams remain. It's SLX Ironic versus Team Hyper. Who is going to come out on top as Adam gets a beautiful head popped of the players of, in fact, Sketch from SLX Ironic.
Indeed, Sketch is not having a great time after that headshot. I'm pretty sure he'll be feeling so uncomfortable. But look at the zone shift over here. Hyper seems like they are in a massive trouble, while at the same time they will have to move inside the zone. But it's not going to be a massive disappointment for them, as they do have that rich cover coming in for them. But SLX Ironics is already inside the zone, barely making it inside behind the rocks. So it seems like SLX Ironic is actually in a great position as well. But the Hyper does have that cover providing it, the rich coming in. But as we take a look, Pial, one of the big men going down, Hyper is in such a massive disadvantage. advantage as we talk. Execute has been caught off guard in the open ground. Now Adam changing the things around a little bit, also spraying down, doing so much lethal amount of damage. Hyper is absolutely obliterating the entire situation. While the knockdown is trying to confirm the kill, well, doesn't really seem like he's going to be quite successful in doing that. Another kill coming in from Adam. You're just absolutely destroying everybody that is trying to contest you. A beautiful Molotov to just flush out anyone who is trying to make the revive happen. And the Molotov is going to be closing the situation out. Beautiful stuff. The way this man play, as you were talking about, Hyper might just take it in their hands. And it seems like they have certainly not disappointed you in the end situations.
Wow, I mean, amazing gameplay coming from Atom, to be honest. And it all started down the moment they got that first knock onto its sketch, right? So Adam took a really good flank angle, and he was over there. He knew that if one of their players gets knocked out, if the players of SLX Ironic might just go a bit bolder, might just try to push, that's when he's gonna punish. But considering the fact this was a game where SLX Ironic could have really gotten this chicken dinner home, because they had their players, they had the numbers. The only problem was they were under just having the cover of one drop. So giving enough room for the players of Team Hyper to just push in, that is where the troubles began. I mean, had Sketch not been knocked off, they could have just waited for the players of Hyper to close in, could have taken their own sweet time in taking them down. But it is what it is. Hyper coming out with a beautiful chicken dinner, and let's take a look at who the MVP is. For me, it's of course going to be Adam.
Of course going to be Adam, but no, seems like it's going to be SLX Ironic Sketch. Yeah, he was definitely dishing out so much damage and kills. And it's going to be the big numbers coming in from as well. It's going to be 1,000 plus damage. It's going to be 1,054 damage and 9 kills as well. A 416 done. Certainly has healed himself much in the process as well, because he was taking a lot of damage. But the way Team Hyper was playing, it got me so hyped up that now my throat is actually hurting.
you need some water or maybe some hot tea. But I think these are the moments that we as casters kind of live for, right?
Yeah,
we need those situations where players like this pop off in the final circles. I mean, Hyper was not really in a very bad situation, and I mean, there was no reason why Team SLX had to make that push, because they were inside the circle. All they had to do was just wait and delay. They should have kind of anticipated Atom taking that flank. This is what happens, and Team Hyper kind of trying to engulf them like an amoeba. Now, from different direction, they were trying to cover it out. One of their players, of course, got knocked out. Could have just gotten the revive, and that's where the players of SLX Ironic should have waited. And the moment their heads pop, boom, because they were feeling themselves. We did see Sketch getting those 9 kills, so he could have done that. But somehow really messing it out. Let's take a look at the top players and see who are the ones.
Exactly. You want to see Adam there on the board, and of course you will be seeing him on the second spot. And third spot is going to be Zam69, and then Gengar, of course, a big name coming in, a consistent player overall, just showing such a good performance overall. PXB is definitely not having the time of their life, but I feel like Gengar is definitely one of the players from PXBX who is showing such a consistent performance overall. And I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if Gengar actually decides to join some other organization in the future as well, because he has been playing actually consistent.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players from PXPS that has been delivering. Now we've been talking a lot about Pion, but we kind of put Atom in the shadows, and I think thriving under his his shadows kind of been a tough spot, but finally he's made a mark for himself. Now the entire Bangladesh region and even throughout the world, people do know how prolific that player is. And now let's take a look at the match summary and see how the numbers game really worked out for these teams.
Of course, Sketch with the 9 kills, which is going to be the highest, and look at the highest damage as well, 1,054. Sketch with the big numbers popping out, and Execute with those 4 maximum assists, and Sketch again, it's like just Sketch's name is over here, just all over the place, and then Execute and Darkman seems like they are just covering up the little part of the leaderboard. But Sketch, of course, just absolutely popping off. A big game coming in for a big boy.
Yeah, of course, and Execute, of course, with those 4 assists. But we've had enough of those teams now. They've got the chickens, they've been going good. But let's talk about A1 Esports 952. I mean, this was one of those teams that we were really looking out for whether they have the chance, and they made themselves in the top 16. But they're kind of dwindling in and around. So with with not the teams, the new teams coming out with Hyper, getting the chicken, with SLX Ironic, coming on the second spot with some massive number of kills. I mean, this is going to create a lot of turbulence in those match standings. In fact, in those overall standings. Talking about match standings, let's take a look at the match ranking over here and look at Ironic. I mean, they've gotten 14 kills, so Team SLX, they're good to go in this one. But how much of a difference is it going to make on the overall standings? That's what I'm worried about, because Grim Reaper, they also play decently well.
Just take a look at I mean, even though Hyper won the game, in this match ranking, seems like SLX Ironic is definitely going to be on top. All because of Sketch. He managed to secure those 9 kills, and then later on his teammate just did the supporting part when it comes to all of that had been happening. But Martis again getting eliminated off early, and then Wolves also not really able to show good effort this entire game. And yeah, just overall, they have been so disappointing, and just overall, yeah, I'm pretty sure their fans are going to be disappointed as well. But I mean, big props to these teams that have been coming up on top, and also just playing overall better in the entire situations.
Yeah, absolutely. This was quite an interesting approach to its Miramar. So many fights happening early on. Now let's take a look at the Oppo moments and see how things did go up. So this is one good thing about I like about these final circles right now in this particular region, because in Bangladesh, what happens, what used to happen earlier, it was all massive, it was all chaotic towards the final circle. But now we did get those glimpses where we have the teams kind of having enough room to do whatever they want. And I have always been talking about it. We need to commit for those kills. You need to go for those fights, because you need to want to have that extra bit of a control, extra bit of a room to kind of rotate around. Had there been a few other teams, that would have been a kind of a suicide attempt by the players of Team Hyper. But since they knew that there were just 2 teams over there, and I mean, the word
I
hitting
just
right on
pointed
point.
my finger at the screen. I was like, this situation was the most unfortunate situation that we might see in the history of games. And Martis was just eliminated by falling and getting stuck in a small pit. And then they were just thrown outside, out in the open. And then they had no other choice than to just challenge the fight and just die. But over here, definitely Execute dealing so much damage. But we saw Adam just absolutely pop off in those end circles and taking the entire squad of SLX. And that Molotov, oh my god, it was an absolute perfection, an absolute beauty, as we like to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was coming either ways, to be honest. Having those frags and those mollies, he knew how to use that on out. And let's see where does this game take all these teams in the overall storyboard that we have, the overall rankings as we call it. It's XP Legion still leading, Exentric Infinity not far behind, ERC, TRC again finally managing to take a rise, but teams like Max, they're kind of falling down. We've got XCVAC on the 4th spot with just 1 game remaining. Can any of these teams topple Blood Legion over? But this is what we are being talking about. And SLX Ironic, courtesy to that beautiful, beautiful, massive game. 85 points secured. Now they've made it into the top 15. But Wolves Black Diamond, you've got to take a look at them.
1 point difference. Only 1 point difference coming in. And now Wolves will have to get more points than SLX at any cost now. Wolves, you will have to try to do your best and try to get those top 15 secured. But also at the same time, if SLX manages to get in top 15 as well, the teams that is up there will be coming down. And now which teams will be going down, it's going to be so amazing to see.
Look at Hyper Gaming. They played 10 games. They're doing good at those 70 points. And this chicken dinner did ensure that they did rise up in those standings. Had they played all their games, Necro, had they played one more extra game, they might have been, having a chance to make it to the regional finals. I mean, that was a high possibility, to be honest. And I do not know what the final game holds for us. But ladies and gentlemen, before that, we are just gonna go for a short little break, and coming back up is the final game of Erangel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Bangladesh edition, of course, sponsored by Oppo Reno 5. My name is Fixes, joined along with Necro as we move into our final game of the evening and, of course, of our group stages. Because after this game, the top 15 teams will be heading on to the regional finals. But before we go in, anything that you're going to expect, because we've been building up quite a storyboard. Wolves Black Diamond on the 16th position. Do you think, can they edge it? Can they get in?
Of course they can. It's not a hard job. I mean, the place they are in right now, they just need to get a little bit of points. Even if they manage to get, let's just imagine 7 kills overall. Just 7 kills I'm talking. 7 points overall just to top it off a little bit. They are in there.
They certainly are in there, but now let's take a look at the flight path trajectory as we are finally live with our final game. And there you go. Quite an interesting flight path. Starboard towards Quarry. So all those teams are having their drops designated on towards the Milta power position, maybe towards Nova Ripnoi, even the Sisnovka military base. That's kind of going to be a bit difficult.
Indeed, it's going to be so difficult for them. But now, imagine if Martis just decides to absolutely pop out this game, get like 35 points, and then
anything is possible.
We would be so surprised.
Pick a team.
Pick a team. Wolves. This
You
time
going for Wolves?
Yep, Wolves.
All right. So
what about you? Pick a team.
I think considering how, SLX Ironic played that one out, I would really, go off for them. Because, come on, the other teams, they're already
That's a safer option, though.
No, that's not a safer option. I mean,
yeah,
they're in
because
15
that
spot.
team is so consistent, though.
No, SLX Ironic just made it in. Now, they're in the 15th spot. Wolves is in the 16th spot. And one of them will qualify. So yeah,
I feel like
I'm
now we both have rivalry right now. We both have rivalry.
Yes,
we can't be friends anymore.
I mean, come on. Now it's either going to be SLX
Look
Ironic.
at the circle.
Aye.
Just like in the Miramar, it was on complete top left. Now, this time on Erangel, it's on complete bottom left.
And you still have the possibility of that Sisnovka military base over there. So it's going to heavily favor the players of ERZ, TRZ, and A1 Esports. Now, these are the circles that kind of head on towards maybe Quarry or just those hilly areas, beside that. So it's going to be really interesting. And this is the time where A1 Esports need to redeem themselves. They've, of course, qualified, but want to have that extra bit of a good position, that safe cushion that we've been talking about.
Look at that early kill coming in, and it's going to be TRA error 404 falling down early on. Such an unfortunate turn of events coming in for TRA, as losing a player such off early is going to be such an unfortunate task or such an unfortunate turn of events coming in for them. But also in the process, seems like Darkman is going to be taking a little bit of damage in the process as well. But it's not going to be in certain disadvantage because he is certainly safe. But now take a look at Sweet Love, going to be securing that beautiful spot and taking the knockdown as well, but also getting knocked instantly in the process. Now he is going to get completely just punched to death. That's the absolute disrespect coming in from PXBS there. But now, one thing we can definitely say that TRA might get eliminated early off, as they are just off to an absolute terrible start. As we take a look at Michael, he doesn't really seem like he is also scared of taking the fight, because one thing that I feel like they have realized in the point in time is like there's no point in playing safe. We have already went out almost, and there's just no way that they're absolutely able to get like those 40 or 50 points in one game, because that would just be like you will have to wipe the entire lobby out. So it's definitely not going to be possible. So I feel like at this point, TRA is just trying to grief around. But take a look at a massive flank coming in from Gengar there. Definitely using his brain a little bit in that flank and also trying to catch him off guard. But doesn't really seem like Gengar is going to be able to do much. I feel like at this point, Michael, look at this man just pushing Gengar like it's nothing. Gengar definitely has to get a little bit cautious. Michael getting caught in the double man crossfire as well, while Gengar is trying to capitalize on his position overall, just trying to jump around. And it seems like Michael's going to be taking a heavy fire as well, and Michael is certainly going to go down. But now just take a look at the other TRA member position as well. Pranay taking so much damage with that jump shot coming in from them, and seems like TRA is getting eliminated off early, and that's going to be giving so many points to PXBS.
I mean, that was quite an interesting fight out there. I have no idea what TRA were intending to, but to be honest, they kind of knew that their chance is over. They did try in the remainder of the matches, in every single match, but it was just not enough. The standards have really gone high. So, like we mentioned, they're gonna learn a lot of things from this tournament. The biggest one being to play under the pressure. I mean, we're not even entered into LAN. In those LAN events, the pressure is going to be tenfolds because you've got a lot of different situations. Because you're playing at your boot camps, you're playing at your homes, you've got that comfort zone. But in LAN, when you've got the crowd cheering, so much happening around you, nerves start trembling. So that's a different thing altogether. But it is what it is. They still came in. They made it so far. Huge kudos to them. But that's as far as they go. As the journey has finally been put to an end. But Wolves and Team SLX Ironic. One of them surely is going to go to the next round.
Yep.
Which one will it be? I've gone for the safer one. You have gone for the one team that's got the lower odds. So are you going to come out on top? We've got to see.
Of course, I mean, the one thing I definitely said is now we both have rivalry as going in this, and I'm not going to be talking to you in a friendly manner at all. I'm going to be showing you so much ego at this point because I want my team Wolves to win. I don't care about you anymore.
No, that definitely hurts. I'm not going to be able to have my lunch anymore after this. But, moving on, jokes apart. So this is the team that we've been talking about, right? They've dropped off at the farm area, and they've got quite some loot. So now, when these teams gets in, so this is going to be really tricky because I want to see if the boys from A1 Esports 952 have been waiting for them or kind of gating it, because that fairy pair area, that circle is actually meant for them. Them and ERC TRC. But moving on, AGT9 not really having a good last game, getting taken off early on. So now they're going to find that sweet loot in Pachinki, and then they might start their movement. But that's where you start going wrong. It's kind of too late considering how the circle has been. You need to be at the epicenter. You need to be at a good position. You need to be either at those compounds that A1 Esports 952 is having, or else take control over those hills. You've got a lot of tips to play around.
Indeed, you do have much more cover to play around as well. But the circle shifts was definitely so unfortunate coming in. Yeah, there is some open grounds in the circle as well, but also at the same time, there is so much hilly area. If the circle decides to shift right in between the quarry, imagine the chaos that would be happening all across the place. Of course, the people that have high ground on top of the quarry will definitely have so much advantage. But as the circle moves on, as the zone shrinks, they will definitely have to change their position and keep on moving to get a overall better position and to be just unpredictable.
Yeah, of course, 100% agree with you. But moving along the game NRZ. So the Grim Reapers did pop off really well today, and have sort of made that comeback possible for themselves. But how are they going to end things out? That's something that we're going to see. But XCBAC, they're having the time of their lives. They know that the competition is even going to get tougher once you enter into the regional finals, because by the time right now, I think they've kind of started figuring each other out. Now, we just have 15 teams from the regional finals going, and ladies and gentlemen, one invited team, of course, is going to be announced anytime soon, once we get the call out, and we're going to name it. Which is that one team that's going to play in the Bangladeshi regional finals of the PMCO. So that's going to be there. So they have played against each other a lot, so they've kind of figured out which team plays in what manner, right? So I think we've got that 2 days break coming in. That's enough time to prepare how to tackle them, how to make those zones work, because we've seen a lot of consistent zones this time around. Those eastern zones are primarily being dominating, and every single time I cast a tournament, there is a particular set of circles that are really common in Erangel. This time it has been those eastern circles like we've been talking about.
Indeed, indeed. But now just take a look at GSC's Poison over here, capitalizing on the entire situation that is in front of him. But just take a look at Darkid, just tapping out these shots on one of the Wolves member, which is going to be Jigsaw. But Jigsaw is in a really bad spot. And Wolves, you do not want to lose your man if you want to take a chicken dinner in your hands. Jigsaw got caught off guard in a really unfortunate turn of events. Wolf, you definitely needed to back your man up. But also at the same time, seems like 1971 is also going to be taking a heavy fire. And just take a look at this fight erupting out of nowhere. These people just rammed inside the vehicle. Otherwise, we take a look at 1971 already having a bad day of their life. And they just completely just rammed the vehicle right in on the tree.
Oh my goodness, Zos. All right. I mean, AGT9 not in a really good position for themselves, because they've got to get those kills coming in. They've got to get those revives, but insane. Oh, what did happen? Dragon took away Zombie from the back lines, and this is going out of my mind. You know, something is really wrong from what we are witnessing over here. Teams are just ramming at each other, players falling down.
It's the last game, Fixes.
It's the last game, yeah.
It's the last game. They will have to make something happen. But just the way these guys just rammed their vehicle right in there was just so fascinating to watch. They just came out of nowhere. They were like surprised people, and they literally just rammed their vehicle right on the tree while Wolves was having a bad day. Now it seems like 1971 is going to be having a bad day as well, while they only are down to one player remaining. While also at the same time, just take a look at the other team right in front of them. It's going to be AGX at T9. They are completely safe. They have all their members alive. Dragon taking a heavy cover fire, but at the same time not going to be able to connect any kind of shots. Just take a look at Darkid. Why is he just spraying everyone down? Darkid, you have to change the position. While we have to take a look, Zos is going to be eliminating another one. Or sorry, Zos is going to get eliminated by the squad right in front of them.
That's gonna hurt them. And yeah, it had been the same case with Zos, no? Really not being able to figure out their way. But this is Gold Stars that we were talking about, and are not really being able to pop off in even a single game from all those 3 matches that we had. Finally looking towards ending things on a good note. But Celtrex, let's see what he's up to. I think this is the first time I'm watching him out there playing, so kind of getting those substitutes out there. And you know, you've come in with, you know, 5-man roster, so might as well give him a game to play. Might as well let the boy experience how it is in these big leagues. So yeah, I mean, that's gonna really help him in those future tournaments. But PD71 kind of being really alert, kind of being really alarmed about the fact that the push might come in any single moment. And I really like the positioning from Wappy Bappy, because they're holding the stairs like you have mentioned earlier, and this is the spot where you can really dominate if you've got a shotgun at that close range, or maybe an SMG.
SMG, yeah, indeed. I mean, sometimes even with the AR, you can work it out if you manage to hit all your shots, of course. But I feel like GSES overall is taking such a defensive approach in this entire situation, while they just do not want to give their frags away that easily. But just take a look at over here, as we talk about being defensive, Riyadh is going to be proving me wrong, and it's just going to be rushing right inside the house. But just take a look at the position Rafi is inside. If Riyadh makes any kind of mistakes and just steps out of his cover, Rafi is going to be capitalizing, and this is what I was talking about exactly happening over there. Taking heavy damage in the process, while GSCS is crumbling slowly, just down on their knees as we take a look. He is the last man standing for them. Riyadh, are you going to be able to do much? Riyadh gone down as well. Now there is the last man standing for them, and GSCS has been completely eliminated. We are seeing so many big names getting eliminated early off, and they all have realized that this is the last game. They will have to make something happen. And Golden Stallion Esports, as we were talking about, has been completely eliminated and obliterated and just completely blasted off the game.
Kind of a stalemate, to be honest, coming out there from Golden Stallions over there, but A1 Esports not really having that time of their lives.
Shift.
Yeah, look at the zone shift. Did go all the way down south, so kind
of
really,
God, I'm
really
so
putting all
excited.
these teams, you know, kind of off guard. But now we've got the players of AGT9, the Martyrs, everyone trying to rotate in, and that's where A1 Esports, they are best right now. You know, they're just shredding bullets, but no.
Martyrs has eliminated as well.
I mean, AGT9 is the one getting those elimination knocks, and they're going to get those frags out.
Indeed, there are so many eliminations happening early off, and this is what we like to see. And indeed, the circle shift has definitely surprised everybody outside the circle as well. While they were just trying to make those early rotations in the process, were taking so much heavy fire that their vehicles were just getting completely melted as if they are under a hot lava. But at the same time, just take a look at AGXT9 having one of the best positions inside the circle, having the high ground, at the same time almost being at the edge of the circle, so they can just keep on shooting at the teams that are trying to rotate in. But this is a completely new shift. It's been onto the military island, and now the way these guys are going to be trying to capitalize on the situation as well is definitely going to be interesting to see as the another airdrop comes in. It's going to be M249, and the big gun definitely would be helpful if anyone's going to be trying to contest it. And who will be taking this compound will be getting this gun as well, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, M249, one of those weapons you never want to miss out on. But, the final game of Erangel. And
look at SLX.
I might just be doomed. I might just need to, change the name.
No, you cannot do that.
Yeah,
no.
I know it's not fair, but I mean, they, under the circumstances that they are in, they're in a whole world of trouble.
Has just absolutely flipped everyone's minds apart. No one expected that to shift to the military base, and now everyone has to cross either the bridge or either from the water. And this is the last boat that have been visible so far.
They can't even take that.
Yeah, they can't even take that because it's being capped by ERZ, TRZ. And they're like, this is our boat. We're not going to let you touch it. We have the keys. We are the owner of the keys. We have paid for the boats. How do you dare to take that from us? And ERZ, TRZ does capitalize on the situation. Hyper is trying to move around the edges of the rocks with the cover as well and trying to meet up with their teammates, but in the process also getting taken down. Hyper Leo going to be suffering the cause as well, and has been taken down. As we take another one, has been taken down as well. It's going to be Alert. Big names going out. Hyper, one of the teams that have won the game last time, and now Hyper is crumbling on their knees so fast. This is going to be such a disadvantage and such a bad thing that is going to be happening. But also at the same time, it's only the 4th zone. It's not going to be doing that much critical damage. Of course, you would be able to out heal the zone easily, and now you will have to heal up, but also in the process you will be using so many utilities and also heals that there might just be none left in those late game situations. While we take a look at Adam, one of the big players from Hyper, still alive. So there's a massive chance coming in from Hyper overall just to make something happen.
Well, to be honest, over there, Hyper, the moment they had been spotted, they were dead. So they did not really have the chance because Mamba was just racing them down. He knew that there's no chance on earth that you can really come out on top of that area and manage to get on top. So Hyper, of course, biting the dust, but we did see Mamba also being taken out of the equation. Now, we've seen a lot of teams going out over here, but A1 Esports, this is a team. They've got 3 players alive. And SLX Ironic, I hope they've just made it to the other side. And this is going to be really crucial. And I've even seen worse circles ended. I've seen teams, all the teams rather, rotating to the southern side, and then suddenly the zone kind of shifts to the northern side. And in this is what makes PUBG Mobile really interesting. Every single time you come into the game, there's something new happening. It's not the same circle anymore, even if it starts off what we perceive as to be the same. But during those end circle, it kind of changes, and with every single small block being different, the approach completely changes to it, the way you go in. But XCSBE, so all these teams, that are really confident about themselves, they're all using, their substitutes, their last players, because of course, to want to give them the taste, like we've been talking about. But A1 Esports 952 really having the best spot, and they've got the compound. But I think I really feel very positive about the players of XCVAC because they've kind of taken control over the hills.
Indeed, yeah, they have kind of taken over control over the hills. But just take a look at Wolves' position over here. Wolves has one of the best positions inside the circle, and certainly I have went with Wolves, and we have seen how lucky I'm getting in these past few days. By guessing through that, I'm pretty sure Wolves might be taking this home. But just take a look at this overall situation happening. As soon as any of these members that are inside the water decide to step out, their position is going to get compromised instantly, and they are going to get finished instantly as well. Now, NRZ and BD71 also having one of their members inside the water. Now, how are they going to be able to get outside and actually try to contest the land and just keep their feet on the land overall? Because I'm pretty sure at this point they are missing the land and they are losing out of breath as well. But just take a look at SLX also. They are also getting shot from the backlines as well from the team that is right in front of them. But how is SLX also going to be capitalizing on the situation? It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, of course, they can just wait the zone out as well. Now, Tutul is definitely going down because he is out in the open, and the only cover that he had was that little boat for him. Not going to be able to survive for much longer. Tutul has been taken down. But now, AGXT9, look at that man's position. This man is out in open, right below the bridge. Also, at the same time, he just has that one pillar for the cover, and the other people are just also right below. And now BD71 is on top of the bridge as well. Now, they do have a little bit of comfortable spots if you take a look at it analytically. Like, yeah, of course, they do have comfortable spot, but later on, if the zone decides to move and shift completely like away from them, then yeah, they are definitely going to be completely doomed because they will have to make a massive rotation in. Also, at the same time, we all know how exposed bridge is when it comes to just taking damage from all across the sides and all across the directions.
Taking a look at the players from BD71, so they've got themselves positioned in those dumpsters. They need to come down at a certain point, and that's where things might just gonna go south. But SLX, ironic, already sitting on top with those 4 kills, having all their 4 players alive. But now this is the battle that we are talking about. Sketch going in. Now he made a few mistakes in the last zones, but he needs to be really careful with his approach. Now he can just take those compounds, but he needs to make sure that he's inside the zone. So A1 Esports are definitely not having the numbers advantage, but kind of compensate for it in terms of positioning. But by the looks of it, I really feel very, very skeptical about it. C Minor just, backing himself up, going inside that small little shack, and, one good grenade is done. What is Sharp going to do from there? So we've really got to see how A1 Esports 952 finally plays it out as Zaman gets that beautiful knock onto its Magneto.
Indeed, just take a look at how like A1 overall is trying to play the situation out. Of course, SLX losing one of their members in the process. They're trying to capitalize on the position of A1. But also take a look at Sketch taking heavy damage in the process as well. Beautiful shot coming in from the shotgun. Not going to be standing even a little bit of sliver of HP, and has been taken down in just one shot, completely busting his limbs out of his body. But now just take a look at SLX execute as well. Now it's only down to 2 members. Your team is crumbling apart, Fixes.
I mean, these are the small mistakes you're not supposed to make. We've got huge prompts to C Minor.
Look at the way he used the smoke.
Yeah, the way he used the DBS. Now the smokes are going to come in, the nades are going to come in. I've been always talking about trying to push in tandem with each other. He just pushed as a solo man. I mean, he was feeling so confident that he would get the knock. And, it's these situations where DBS really thrives, right? In those close range situations. Got a very fast rate of fire. You can just you can just do that and take down squads after squad. So we've seen a lot of DBS being used, but that's insane. Yeah, insane getting that molly. But Execute still staying alive. He needs to take down 2 players. Of course, it's a very, very interesting situation. Can he do that? There's no chance on earth that he can get that res onto with Satan. But from the backlines, we have the boys of XCSB pushing in. And this is where Sharp X gets taken down. Last player surviving, C Minor. Can he make it out, though?
Indeed, it's going to be so harder for him to make it out, but just take a look at overall A1 Esports position. They are in such a massive disadvantage, and as you were talking about XCBS, Jerry definitely being the one to step his game sense up this time, and just the way overall he's playing the game. Just take a look at Execute, just mowing anyone down, just spraying it all across his place, and we're talking eliminated completely. The existence out of A1 Esports has been completely eliminated by SLX, ironic, and it's just going to be cute. The last one, man surviving for them, and so it's going to be so hard for us to see how it's going to be surviving these entire situations out, and XCBS has been completely eliminated as well.
I mean, One good thing, look at BD71, they're still alive. Despite the fact they did not have the zone, they're still standing. And they're in a pretty interesting spot. Now the zone has shifted. He's got his eyes onto its execute, though. Can he get that final confirmation? But very well. I mean, he's given up a lot of information, to be honest. Now the moment he starts kind of rotating around. Now TRZ might spot him any single moment. AGT9, wow, that's a beautiful knock coming out onto its the players of BD71. One Rafi, dealing with the aftermath of it. So he does now finally realize that they've got squads right beside them, in fact. And Vizzy not really having a single med kit, and as a result of which he's gonna get taken down by the players of AGT9 as we have a final 4 teams surviving. But now, moving on, we'll have to see Execute. He's still doing well. He's doing well. And insane. I mean, he's still out there. And Arceus, oh, he gets taken out. Now things are starting to get really intense. Things are starting to get really interesting. And oh my goodness, we gotta see what's going to happen. So let's see. Execute 69, the last player surviving. Just 4 teams out there. We'll do. Let the game speak for itself.
Of course, let the game speak for itself. But the thing was, like, of course, I'm so interested to see these top 3 situations that are going to be happening in the zone as well. But now, let's just take a look at this entire situation over here. There is such a passive thing going on over here, Fixes.
There certainly is. There certainly is. But, I would let you just take this one over because things are getting really intense towards the end.
Indeed, the things are getting so heated up. Now, as we take a look at there are only 3 teams left and 6 members are only alive. And just take a look at over here. The complete existence has been eliminated of AGXT9X with 10 kills. AGX has been showing up so great in his end circles as well. But just take a look at TRZ. Of course, one of the team being surviving till the late time. And we have seen this team absolutely just pop off sometimes as well. Now, Wolves is going to be the second team that has been surviving. This is the last man standing for Wolves as well. Asian going to be spraying it down and also taking one of the TRZ members down as well. Now, SDFU going to be just scoping down right onto Asian, going to be spotting his gun barrel, but is he going to be able to connect the shot right onto his head though? Asian taking a heavy cover fire while we take TRZ going to be taking the chicken dinner right in their hands.
Wow, I mean, that had to be there because TRZ, of course, being the first team trying to make that rotation in. The second position is where they're gonna end out, and on 29 points, 14 kills, massive numbers coming in. But yeah, overall, I think it has been a fair game from these lads. But I really loved how SLX Ironic really played this one out. Wolves BD not really stepping up on this one. But a lot of things happened because BD71 also did have a decent chance at this. And what do you think? What do you think? How are things going to be? Who's the MVP going to be in this one?
MVP, of course, I mean, it has to be someone from either, I feel like, TRZ or SLX, because I feel like SLX was also one of the teams that was farming out so much. And, of course, yeah, I was right. One of the either ERZ or SLX, and, of course, it's going to be Mamba, going to be the one to actually dish out 945 damage, big number, with 5 kills, and also 1 healing done with 1 assist as well. But one thing I'm definitely so disappointed about is that Wolves not winning. But also, I feel like Wolves have secured themselves those top 15 spots as well.
I mean, they certainly might have secured that. Once we get that overall standings.
They were the second team, and of course they managed to secure those 12 points.
Yeah, of course, could be over there. We'll get a very clear picture as the overall rankings do come up. So, I mean, TRZ Mamba, like we've been talking about, this lad. He's got 5 kills, he's got 945 damage, and a survival time of 23 minutes. So that's some good numbers coming out on board. So as we move along further to the game, so it was a kind of an Erangel match that was really not the kind of an outing that these teams would have expected, not the kind of a shift that these teams would have anticipated, because with the game, the way that started off, I mean, it was pretty much clear for TRZ and A1 Esports 1952, they're having the best spot. But TRZ somehow understanding the rotation, the path, the route, they made it quick. But A1 Esports, while they were doing that, one of their players got taken down. And after that, one thing followed the other. And they were kind of unlucky with the players of XCSP really coming down from the hill side, taking them down. But let's take a look at the top players and let's see what happened and who were the players, in fact. And so it's all TRZ again.
Of course, TRZ seems like they were having the game of your life there. And of course, I mean, we have seen they have like secured those top position. But of course, in the overall leaderboards, they will be on either like top 3 or either at least on top 5. Because the way they were moving down slowly and slowly, of course, the TRZ was sweating a little bit there. But yeah, of course, topping it off with a little bit of salt and also that a little bit of repetition spice, as we would like to say. They have cooked themselves a really good food.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be ending things on a happy note, of course, getting all those sweet kills for them. And they were in a comfortable spot. They did not really have to worry about anything. A lot of teams rather came on their faces. And yeah, from one of them was Team Hyper, of course. And that is what I was really being critical about, You take those waterways, there's someone who's going to be on the shorelines, there's someone who's going to be at that high ground areas. The moment you come out of the water to take those essential, valuable oxygen, that's where you get spotted down. And once you get spotted, you're going to get mowed. And that's what happened. And the last player did try to survive for quite some while, but that was just about it. So in these certain circles, it's very imperative that you kind of go in for those quick rotations. And well, as things were, right now, we've got to see how the overall rankings came in, because only top 15 teams, like we mentioned, are going to go into the next round.
Indeed, of course, only the top 15 teams. But in the process as well, like to make spaces that for the upcoming teams, some teams might have lost their positions as well. Which are the teams going to be, though?
Yeah, absolutely. I really can't wait for the match summary to really pop out, the numbers games that we are talking about. And well, Mamba, Jerry, and Mamba, TRZ is absolutely everywhere. It's just XCBS as Cherry who's got that longest kill, nothing apart from that.
Of course, SCFU with those maximum 3 assists, and as we take a look at Atomic as well, and Mamba with the highest damage, and just Mamba again with the highest kill as well. So it seems like Mamba was definitely the one for TRZ to absolutely pop off in this game.
Yeah, of course. And now, with TRZ having everything in their favor, of course, and I mean, pretty much standard games. But apart from that, we've kind of, done. We kind of done with all the matches of our group stages. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, and it was an overall beautiful event. The Bangladeshi region this time getting a dedicated PMCO for themselves. And we finally got to see those rising talents, the rising potential. And a lot of teams did surprise us, of course, XCVSE, XP Blot Legion, and the likes of TRZ. And of course, Exentric Infinity and Infernal Parasite GX not being really far behind. But apart from that, a few teams, like we mentioned right in the start of the show, you're not losers over here, you're all learners. You're learning something. You're learning how to play around with the zone and everything. So, as we head on to the regional finals, things are going to get really, really intense.
Indeed, things are going to get really, really intense and sweaty as well. While their palms, they're going to be trying to hold on to their laptop as squeezely as they can, but also at the same time, when the palm gets sweaty and when the pressure builds in, it's going to be so hard for them to perform to their best. Now, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to be strategizing out, taking now those points or those notes under consideration.
Yeah, of course. Now let's take a look at the match rankings, and we'll have a better idea as to how much points they all secured for themselves. So 14 points coming in for SLX Ironic. Let's see to those 6 kills that they took. Wolves Black Diamond, of course, getting the 2nd spot, but no kills to back them really up. So it's going to be really intense right now as to whether or not they can make it. So what do you think? Can they do that?
Of course, easily. I mean, I talked to you before about this, like, even if Wolves managed to get, like, 7 kills off, but they actually managed to top it off with even more, so it's going to be so easy for Wolves to actually get in there as well.
It certainly is going to be easy, but, looking forward, we've got Hyper Gaming just coming out on with that 1 point, really not being in that, being in that unfortunate spot. And Red Army, the only team walking off with nothing, to be honest, because the 15th and 16 teams, they're not playing. They're disqualified from this tournament. Of course, we've already talked about that. But now, as things are right now, very shortly, we are going to get those overall rankings. But overall, this day was a day of comebacks. Those teams, yesterday, if you talk about the Nepali region, we did see Hype trying to cement their position in. And this is what teams like Wolves, this is what teams like NRZ, this is what teams like A1 Esports did. Is that going to be enough? But let's just head into the Oppo moments as we will have a clear picture of that. Oh, few fists.
It did.
Here and there,
The first of one just getting absolutely disrespected by the fist damage coming in to just finish that kill. But now also this fight was just so interesting. And then later on, after like a little bit of moments after, the car literally just came in and just ramped in just like that right there. That was so like funny and interesting to watch at the same time. While also at the same time the players that are in that situation going on, their height and their heart and their adrenaline might just be boosting in so fast, and their heart might just be pumping so fast as well.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Now, Golden Stallions not really having a good time this time around the tournament. They made that push. They did not use their utilities out. The cranes going, they were just wasted. But after that, I really felt that they would just back off. No, they stuck on up until the point they were just eliminated right at the face of it. But a lot of teams did have trouble kind of rotating through the show lines. But SLX, ironic, pulling off a decent job. But, this is where those mistakes were made. Had he gone in together, they could have easily dealt with the player inside the shack. But Execute finally, kind of getting that, putting that nice final nail in the coffin of the players of A1 Esports 1952. Of course, team XCSBE acting as a spoil spot. They've always been the consistent. They had the good hill position, and it was Mamba in the end coming out on top. But this is the moment that we were all waiting for. This is the moment that we've been sprying throughout all these days that we have been casting this league. Who are your teams that make it to the regional finals? Let's take a look at the overall rankings and see for ourselves.
Let's take a look who are in top 15s. Well, it's going to be the first Blood Legion, then of course ERG, TRZ, Exentric. It's going to be XCVS, Infernal, Parasite, GX, Max Esport, AGX, T9X, Gods Reborn. These all teams are in the top 8 positions. And now it's going to be interesting to see the next page, because this is where we are able to see where Wolves have spotted themselves. And of course they are in. It's going to be KSX, ALX K9 Esports, SLX Ironics, Wolves Black Diamond, Log1 Esports, A1 Esports 1952, IPG X4 Arc, barely surviving onto that 15th spot, and they have made it in.
Gotta feel bad for Big Boss 6. This was a team that was so consistent. But
Bhai Brothers as well.
Yeah, Bhai Brothers as well. I mean, so many of them really going down over there.
And
but just 2 points. This 2 points kind of being the difference maker. And it's gonna hurt them, had they had 2 extra kills or maybe survived a bit longer. This could have certainly really turned out in their favor. But NRZ Grim Reapers also not making it through, because they were looking really solid at the end day. But had they kind of performed like this in those previous days that they played, they could have even been in the top 5. They had the potential, they had the caliber to do that. But these are your last final teams that we are taking a look at. ZOS not really having a good outing. PXBS also did try, but that was just pretty much it.
That's pretty much it, and the names that I read out as fast as I could in those top 15 spots are going to be the team that are surviving, and I'm pretty sure your question has been answered as well. Wolves has made it inside, and of course I am also so happy for them. But now, one thing I'm definitely interested to see how Blood Legions are going to be performing in the future.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Legions, they certainly look prepared, but now let's just head into the kill leaders that we have for this entire saga that we've been building up for you guys. So it's Mamba who's going to end out on top, toppling over Dominic. We've got Gyro following him up, and Jerry, of course, with 28 kills. So Jerry also being that one of those players that has been really, really good in terms of his positioning and his gun prowess. So I really love that.
Indeed, of course. I mean, Jerry has been showing himself up so much lately that, of course, it's just hard to ignore this man going on. And even in the previous game that was Erangel, we saw Jerry pop off in the end circle so much that he actually got that domination spree as well on his name, securing those 3 kills for himself. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Late circles are definitely the circles that you need to be so cautious about the entire situation that is happening around you, and also try to rack up the kills while being just, overall having the positional advantage or positional awareness, as we'd like to say. Now, it's definitely going to be so hard for you to take all these factors under consideration and try to rack up kills, but Jerry seems like he has all that mastered.
Yeah, he certainly has all of it mastered, and we'll have to see how these teams perform in the regional finals, as we will be taking a kind of a long break of 2 days, and then we will be back with all the action. But ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with our day, so with that, we'll be bidding you adieu. Take care, bye bye, love you all.